you are definitely aware as you pretty much by the time you notice it, it's kind of when you guys are walking down this side street here. We'll go ahead and put you're usually at the back on you, so.
And I assume Miss Cecilia would be up at Marigold then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, basically, it's just like periodically you see a head kind of pop out from behind a building, you know, way down the street, like down here, and then poof, they disappear again, like stick their heads back and they're gone. But it's definitely noticeable that people are paying close attention to you.
That's unsettling.
So we can all notice this now, or just the gnomes?
Thus far, only the gnomes have noticed it. They're the only ones that passed the check.
I basically just be like, guys, I think we're being followed here.
What do you mean? I don't see anything.
Don't make a big scene of it. Just keep walking. But they seem to be poking their heads around corners and taking looks at us. I'm assuming
funny, actually.
I'm assuming we have Cecilia disguised it to some degree here.
Yeah, she was wearing those big, thick winter clothes and has kind of like got a big hood over her head. So,
I mean, it was your idea to come to the shittiest part of the city.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest us going back to my home, but
I guess the trouble with that is it's the better the part of town, the more informed people are going to be as to who this might be and why we might be.
Well, it's a little late now that Sergeant What's-His-Face knows where we're going, so...
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep...
It's fine. The town's champion has returned to its people. They're probably just trying to get a glance of a celebrity.
Well, or maybe they hear you clinking along with all that, in your backpack, your second backpack.
Yeah? What about it? Because they were trying to take it.
All right.
maybe they're just surprised we came back alive.
I don't think they know who we are.
I mean, you guys have been gone for a good 8 months, so
Yeah, as a rogue, I'm just gonna be like, I think whatever it is, as long as it's not a line of riflemen, after dealing with what we've dealt with, it's...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It can't be any worse than what we've already seen. They have no idea what we've dealt with.
We have no idea what we've dealt with.
I'm gonna take out 2 throwing axes and just hold them as we walk.
okay. So hold them down by your side in kind of a ready and waiting position should anything unpleasant happen.
Yeah, through this, I imagine we have been walking, right? I mean,
Yeah. So basically, yeah, as you head towards the Drunk's Ear Tavern, which you know is kind of down this street here. So let's move you guys to here. All right, give me another spot check at this point, everybody. Now you're all kind of alerted. I'm assuming you're paying attention, looking around, trying to visualize what's going on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, whoops.
No, it's all right. I just didn't have it on the dice roll pane.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. I'll
Got an
be
18.
fixing that. All right, so what have we got here? Physic down. Okay, yeah, all of you are pretty much able to notice it. Dark shadows seem to be loitered up on the rooftops. You're kind of aware that they've all moved and scurried to the edges.
That's an awful lot of people watching us, guys.
This is the one time I wish I actually took Windwall.
Don't ever say Windwall on the show. Bastard. I'm just gonna say, I think we should run.
I don't want them to...
They've already
Ambush
enclosed us
us.
in behind. There's no point.
There's
We are in
nowhere
the
to run.
ambush, guys.
Right.
With that, I'm
Yeah,
just
so
going to-
basically, by the time you realize that, your eyes are kind of pulled up as you see people with heavy crossbows begin to kind of like appear at the edges of the rooftop, pointing down. Around this time, you hear scuffling in the streets and alleyway up to your right, just ahead of where Jash is. And then you hear scurrying footsteps as several individuals run to position themselves behind you. At that point, one of them kind of takes a very slight step forward. Now then, Needs no be any trouble. All we need you to do is hand that young lady over.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't do that. Sorry.
Well, unfortunately, we will have to insist. If you just
How
hand
much are
her
they?
over, we can let all of you just scurry along your way, get yourself a nice drink up there in the tavern. If not, unfortunately, we'll have to kill you as well.
You don't want to do this.
I have a question. What is the what are these buildings? These buildings right next to us, are there doorways or windows?
Most of them, I mean, they do have doorways at the fronts of the buildings. Obviously, at this point, the windows they have, but they're shuttered windows, so they're not like open glass or anything like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not that you couldn't bust into a building if you wanted to, but there's no easy access.
Right. Okay.
You don't want to do this.
Well, I think you'll find you're significantly outnumbered. We've been waiting for you for a while. Our sources told us that you'd be coming down this way.
Damn it, Physic.
What sources? Jeez. Who are you working for? How much are they paying you?
Oh, it goes way beyond money. Of course.
Oh, does it?
If you have a vast quantity of cash that you're willing to part with, maybe if you hand it over, we might turn the other way. How
I'm not
much you
giving you
got?
anything.
It depends.
I've got a few scruples, maybe. A coin or two here in my pocket.
I'm gonna be backing up. Like, hopefully, Rush will be following me, so we get into more of a clustered group. Because we're a little spread out. So
I'm gonna back up close to Cecilia and tell her to get down.
Alright, so she is going to, like, begin to crouch down towards the ground. Steady, steady, no sudden movements. We've got all of our finest archers on the roof, all lined directly at her. Oh yes, if any of you try anything, she's the first one to go.
I'm gonna reach behind me and cast displacement on Cecilia.
Alrighty.
Sorry, I didn't realize it.
That was interesting spell effect there.
I was going to do the same with bark skin, actually.
Alright. Oh. Okay, make a quick dice roll here. And you're doing Bart skin?
Mm-hmm.
And
Hidden behind
all right.
Dallas.
Okay, so you manage to Rush manages to wiggle his little fingers and tap Cecilia on the leg to cast displacement. You are doing the same thing when a cry from up on the rooftop says, "One of them's finger wiggling!" And with that, the guy at the front says, "Shoot them now! All of them! Quick, get fire!" And instantly you hear as crossbow bolts suddenly start triggering off all around. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crossbow bolts. The first one, which actually was not aimed at Cecilia, in fact, none of them were. The first one is aimed at Jash.
I think that is my AC now. Let me just double check.
I think that's exactly a hit.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna hit.
All right. Okay. At the last minute, you try to bring up your shield. It glances off the shield and just nicks your forearm for 1 point of damage. The next one is firing. Oh, that was interesting. Is firing at Marigold. Unfortunately, the bolt shatters and splits as it hits the street. All right, this one down here is also shooting at Jash just purely because he is the biggest and most viable target from that distance. They can't really see those behind, so he's going to shoot at one of you two guys. Oh, and he hits as well.
It's a hit too.
Alrighty. That bolt finds its mark a little more solidly as you take 8 points as it grazes off the inside of your right leg. Alright. This one up here is going to take a shot directly at Daleth.
Why?
Because you're the only tall boy.
In the line of
That
fire.
misses.
Alright, and then the last one who is over here, he is going to take a shot at Rush.
No.
And not sure if that's a hit or a miss.
It's a hit.
Okay. Alright, the crossbow barely grazes your forearm for 1 point of damage. Alright, that's all of the readied actions that with them. Immediately they all begin to start to reload. Let's go ahead and get initiative rolls for you guys right now.
Alright. Could have been better, could have been worse. Oh, I was hoping that was her first 20 shot.
See, we got Rush on an 18.
Thanks.
Dallas
this-
Roll for
with a
Marigold.
14.
This is Marigold, yeah.
Okay, Marigold will actually go first, the 21. Then we got Physic and Daleth bringing up the rear. Okay, let's make an initiative check for those individuals that would do you harm. They are going to be going right there. Okay, as soon as that happens, they all burst into life. The ones in the street begin to motion forward and start charging. And you can see them begin to pour out from behind the alleyway up ahead in front of you. Okay. Marigold gets to act first. What does she want to do?
I have an idea. She has Holy Smite, which deals damage to a bunch of people.
Okay.
Yes.
The question is, do you guys think she'd cast it to the people charging in front of her or the people behind her?
Probably in front of her, right?
Probably
Yeah,
in front of her,
I would say all of her actions so far have been completely self-preserving, so the one's in front of them.
So
Well, I
these
think
guys.
that she would have a little bit more faith in the one in us behind her. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, so
So
as they break out of the side streets and begin to charge towards her, she wants to drop Holy Smite.
Yes.
Alrighty, 20-foot radius, so that will hit all four of them potentially, doing 24 points of damage to each evil creature in the area, or 42 points of damage to an evil outsider. Only evil and neutral creatures are harmed by the spell. Good creatures are unaffected. Yeah, they're not particularly good, so you're it's a fairly good bet right there. And they get a willpower save to
17.
attempt to reduce the damage to half and not be blinded, which they wouldn't be anyway. Alright, so we've got 4 saves to do. And it's a willpower save, so not their best suit. Okay.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And they all fail. Alright. So basically, Marigold calls upon the powers of Praetherion and will drop 24 points of damage to each of those. Let's see. Let's go ahead and... All right. They all take 24 points of damage. All right, the impact is such that they're all kind of scattered to the sides of the streets, and it will stop them kind of running in their tracks. They're sort of like temporarily disorientated and demoralized as this huge big beam just drops out of the heavens and smashes on top of them. All right, Rush.
All right. So these guys right in front of me. Going to give them a shout. Back off.
Shout out. All right. So a cone effect that would hit everybody here in front of you. Emits an ear-splitting yell that deafens and damages creatures in its path. Any creature within the area is deafened for 2d6 rounds and potentially will take 5d6 points of sonic damage. They can do a fortitude or reflex save based on. So, let's see. Here we go. And there's 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
4.
Keep rolling like this.
5. Damn.
Please.
1.
I think that one passed.
Yeah, 1 passed. All right. So roll 5. Let's see.
He only barely passed.
5d6 points of sonic damage. So roll the damage first. All right.
Nice.
So that'll be 18, 18 for each of those. And he will only take half of that. Now roll your 2d6 for how long they are deafened. They will be deafened for 7 rounds. Alrighty. Okay, yep. So basically, a huge big blast of cone of sonic sound hits them, and you kind of see their hair fly back, and in the same sort of way, they're momentarily kind of like slowed down as they're charging forward as well. Okay, with that, they're going to close in their gaps.
Did you say those were blind in front of us, Gore?
No.
The ones.
They're
Yeah,
not
oh, I thought
blind.
you said they were. Okay.
No. All right. You can hear all the crossbows being loaded above your heads. This guy is going to make a dash to here. This guy is going to move up to here. He's coming to here. All right. Okay, so we have those that are charging in. There's just enough room here in this street, I believe. Let me check the distances, because I know these are narrow little streets. Yeah, there's not room for 3 people. There's only room for 3, so they can't 4 get in. All right, starting out, so we have the first 2 are charging in to go toe-to-toe with Jash.
Big mistake.
All right. Okay, the first one
Would've said it better
swipes
myself.
at you with his sword, but will miss the mark.
That's a miss.
The second one swings at you with a club, and will
That's a
also
miss.
miss the mark. The third one lunges towards Marigold.
Marigold.
What is Marigold's AC?
That's definitely a hit.
It is?
Yeah.
That's me.
Alrighty.
Yeah, her AC is 17.
Okay, but not a bad hit. She's only tagged for 4. All right, and on the other side, there's 3 again that can get involved. So the first 2 are going to go at Daleth.
Hit. Oh, that is a miss. Just a miss. 18.
Alrighty. Alright, the one that manages to find his mark does so, inflicting 11 points of damage. The last one will swipe his axe down at Rush, and he has to have a -1 because of the size modifier. And he misses his mark. Alrighty. Where you guys are, the only one that is going to... There's only these central 2 are actually going to fire their crossbow bolts. So this guy and this guy are the only 2 that are going to actually shoot. And we're going to give that a random roll to see who they're going to shoot at. So, We're just going to roll a d10 and we'll go in order of cast. Jash, Marigold, Daleth, Rush, Physic. First one is going to take a shot at Jash.
Yes.
And the second one is going to shoot at Physic.
Ooh.
All right, Jash, the one above you, fires with his crossbow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
It's alright. It's going to be like 3 damage.
Hey.
That's not a potential crit, right?
Oh.
No, not with a crossbow.
Oh, good.
And then one for Physic, which is a
I've
miss.
secretly been a tank all along.
Alrighty, Daleth, you are up.
The one that hit me for all that damage, I 2-weapon fighting, improved 2-weapon fighting. I am attacking with my throwing axes that I have in my hands. So it's 4 attacks total.
Here it goes.
Of like no damage.
Here it
But
goes.
Ooh.
just little nicks. Little
Hey, not
like
bad.
little scratch
good.
here, cut there.
It's fun to watch, you know? It's like watching college football versus the NFL. They're not hitting as hard, but like there's more going on there.
All right. So what do we got here? 4 attacks.
Yeah, improved 2-weapon fighting.
All right. Well, all 4 of those find their mark. So that's 11, 15 points of damage.
Yay! See, maybe he's dead.
All right, Physic.
I'm going to drop my new and improved version of Summon Nature's Ally.
All right,
but I'm
don't
going
forget
to.
you have you took damage, so you've got to make a concentration check.
Oh, how much did I take?
You tell me.
Is it 1?
Is it
Digit 1.
He Did he even get hit?
Yeah, he got hit for 1 point, I think.
Wait, I
No,
don't
Physic
think he
didn't
did.
get hit. Physic didn't
No,
get
he didn't
hit.
Yeah.
get hit.
No,
I didn't get
Marigold
hit.
he
did.
did not get hit. That's right.
He-
Physic,
yeah,
no, you're
That's what I was
good.
Total
asking.
14,
Like,
right.
I didn't remember that. Yeah, I was
No,
like-
you're absolutely right.
I'm
You
secretly
did
the
not
tank,
get
remember?
hit.
So, yeah, I'm gonna drop another one of those. I'm doing dire wolves because I'm a one-trick
Alright.
pony here.
Hold
But
on then, let me get some dire wolves up.
I'm going to have to roll 1d4 plus 1 because this is Summon Nature's Ally level 5. Level 5.
Hold on, let me resize it appropriately. Now, where are you going to want to drop them?
Right behind us to just tear through their ranks and
Like here?
right behind them. Yeah,
Okay.
just to cause them a whole lot.
Alright,
of
how
trouble.
many?
Here comes.
So, how many are you getting?
I'm getting 4.
3. Nice.
Well, 4 because it's plus 1 since it's.
All right. Yes, indeed.
Nice.
And that's a lot of damage per turn.
That's a lot of wolves.
Yeah. You're at plus 11. Okay, so I'm not sure if all of them will be able to fit there.
They won't. Only 3 will.
Okay.
But
so,
should one of them fall, then of course the other one will fill the ranks. So, all righty.
So it's attacks for them.
And
Down the
yep,
line.
because they are summoned, they may attack immediately.
There's one top guy.
Ouch.
All right,
two
so
guy
that's a hit.
middle,
That's a hit.
and then the guy at the bottom of that.
And that's a hit. All right, so the wolves appear and immediately leap into the ranks and start to tear at the backs of their foes. Go ahead, roll damage. First one.
I'm just blinked on how much damage that was. I didn't pull it up because I figured, I remember. I'm pretty sure it's a D8 plus something.
It is a plus something.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Sorry about that.
I think it's plus 50, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty
Might
sure
be
it's
plus
plus
10.
whatever their HP is.
Plus 10?
10. 1d8
Is it
plus 10.
That's close.
I think it's 10, but don't quote me.
No, it's 10. I just looked.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so for the top dog,
For 15. All right. Okay.
Ouch.
mediocre, medium doggo,
12.
and rare doggo.
11. All right. Well, they're all still very much alive, but all very much surprised, shocked, and in utter chaos and panic. Of course, with this occurring, they are going to... Those that can will turn to defend themselves, leaving the two at the front to kind of deal with those of you that they initially engaged. Daleth.
Didn't I just go?
Not Daleth.
he just- Is it Jash now?
Marigold.
Did Jash?
Yeah, Jash.
Just waiting patiently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I wrote Daleth twice. It is Jash.
I'll go twice. I
No.
don't mind.
It's Jash.
So as because the two attacked me and both of them missed, as I kind of dodge out of the way of both of them, I'm going to attempt to look at them and say,
This is your last chance to run before we rip you all apart.
as I take my flail and put my shield up to attack them. Do I notice them? Does that make any difference at all?
Give me an intimidation check.
Okay. Oh yeah, baby.
All right. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, the one here at the back that was yet to engage, you see him go like, and turn and flee straight back up the back alley. He's like, I'm not in this yet. Now would be a great time to not get in it.
That one had a high intelligence score.
The other three, you can definitely see that they're kind of. You see, you can kind of sense some, a sense of confusion on their face. Possibly they're having second thoughts, but at the same time, they're also fully aware if they turn and run right now, you're probably just going to cut them down where they stand. So that one will flee. The others, however, are going to reluctantly hold their ground.
Okay.
Good
Then
turn.
I will do
You killed one with words.
full attack on the one here, the lower one here.
Killing them with words.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let him have it.
Okay.
Bring the flail.
Jash is a hero.
Both hit first. 22 combined. Alright, the first blow of the flail smashes into the guy's shoulder. His weapon drops low and he winces in pain. With that motion, you're then able to bring it in for a second swipe, which catches him right across the jaw. You see blood and spit fly from his mouth as he goes spiraling across the cobblestones and collapses here on the ground. He is dead. Or at least not really doing anything. Yeah, I had a feeling those might be a bit large, so I'm just going to move him to the dead pile.
Yeah.
All right, good job. One down. All right, Marigold.
She took damage, so I think she'd attack the one in front of her.
Okay.
Unless anyone disagrees.
No, I think you're right. They're coming at her like that.
I'll
She would
disagree
defend
with you.
herself.
She gets 2 attacks with her longsword.
Thrust parry.
Snappy!
It's a lunge. It's a lunge.
Both hits. Delivering a total of 10. All right. Rush Brinkley.
I'm going to shocking grasp the guy with the hatchet or whatever the hell this is in front of me.
Okay, now you did take damage last time, right? But it wasn't much.
No, he missed.
Yeah, he missed.
No, he did. That's right. No, it was Marigold, wasn't it? Yes. Okay. So yeah, ranged. So no, not ranged. You basically need to make a touch attack.
Oh crap!
Grab his pants leg.
What is my touch?
You've got the touch.
You got the power. Yeah.
80s power ballad.
So that's my base.
Basically, you make it's basically like a regular attack. It just he doesn't get to count any physical armor.
So is it my Oh, okay. So I would
Just
do it the
attack.
same as I do most of my other spells. It's like +7.
Yeah. And that is not a hit.
No, I missed. I'm also going to deploy the weasel.
Deploy the weasel. All right, okay. So you put Jerusha down onto the ground, and that will be your turn. It is their turn to retaliate. I need initiatives for your doggies.
Initiatives for the pups.
Yes, I will do that. Once I pull up the thing on GSRD, okay, there it is. Oh, it's +2. It's good to know.
Deploy the weasel.
The wolves are on a 20.
All right. In that case, they're actually they should have gone before rush, but they can go
Sorry
now.
about that. Yeah.
As long as they go
So I guess-
before the NPCs, that's all that really matters, right? So, which they will. So, yeah, you got 3 wolves that can.
Same pecking order.
All right, starting at the bottom, moving your way up.
We'll start at the bottom and end up there.
All right, okay.
So rare
Ooh, potential crit.
From the bottom. Now.
That's 20 in it.
Let's go.
Hey, you got a 20.
And
Natural
nobody-
Nobody
20.
voted for it.
We said that that's what was going to happen. I mean,
Oh.
it was obvious that it was going to happen,
Well, here's the crit.
and it is
Oh,
a
yeah.
crit. Okay.
I'll just go ahead and do the damage for that now.
All right, so
So
yeah,
2d8 plus
double
one?
dice and plus 10
Nice.
for
Okay.
18. That will be. That is enough. Okay, yep. He leaps upon the guy, knocking him to the ground, and proceeds to rip his throat clean out. He is out of there.
Oh.
Just
Gently.
gonna move him.
Not gentle.
Ah,
That guy was a baritone in the.
Yes. Rip his throat out gently.
Those poor pipes.
ripping his throat out softly.
He was essential in the slum orchestra or the
Oh,
slum
okay,
quartet.
second roll.
Slum quartet.
So rare killed the guy. Let's see if medium can do it too.
That's a hit.
Yeah. That looks like I'll go ahead and roll his damage too, since we already did the one. There's his hit.
And hits him for 12. All right, he is still up.
It's because he has a fancy hat, isn't it?
Oh, of course, yeah. Extra armor, you see. Extra wolf protection.
It's a hat of protection.
I'm
wolf.
totally.
A hat
I'm
of
totally
dire
getting,
protection.
Top dog.
And that's a hit as well.
I'm getting Trent flashbacks with bucket.
60. All right, and he is out of there as well. So that's another one that falls to the wolves. I'm assuming that your wolves are going to close in gaps and press forward.
The one closest to the house there, because these are old shanty buildings.
Uh-huh.
I remember climbing on them myself. With the size of a direwolf, do you think he'd be able to leap up to the top of that roof? Or would it just tear the building down?
I would say with a good enough jump roll, yeah.
What is a dire's jump check?
What is a
They got
direwolf
4
jump
legs,
check?
so it should be good.
Who
I
knows?
listen to spot survival. It doesn't have it listed, so it's probably just strength.
Straight
then.
D20 then, plus strength modifier. Or
Oh,
dex,
shit.
whichever's highest.
Kinda
Strength modifier is +8.
Ooh. Okay.
Jump, Wolfie, jump.
That should be a good little jump.
What tab am I on? There we go.
Or +7.
1d20 plus 7.
No, actually, I think it's +8, but yeah.
He'll take the 7.
yeah.
Aw.
Oh, no.
All right, it leaps at the side of where did you want him to try to jump?
I was just gonna try and get that one there that's close.
All right, okay, so he
Like
starts
jump up and
jumping
grab
up starts jumping up and scratching to try to pull himself up, just snarling. But unfortunately, he isn't able to get any traction. All right,
Aw.
okay. Now it is the NPCs. Right, these two are going to plug that direwolf, or attempt to.
Not the dire wolf.
One strength 5.
And that's... Ooh!
Is that 2 20s in a row?
No.
Oh, it's 2 different people.
No, well, that was to confirm the crit for the first one, and then the second one. So it's actually the first one is a crit, which will hit your dire wolf for this, and then the second one will hit for. All right, so 17 points of damage done to that dire wolf.
The one who hasn't bit nobody.
Yeah.
Aw.
The runt.
Well, again, the reason that these ones here at the back haven't shot is because even though that they've got a height advantage, there's too many people down there from them at their angle to be able to get a safe shot without hitting their buddies. The two here at the sides, which were kind of more just shooting straight down at you, they're doing it. So this guy here, he's going to take a shot, and we'll do the same thing. He's going to roll a d10, and we're going to see who he's going to decide to shoot at. Completely fair and random. Number 8, that will be Rush. Alright, he shoots down at Rush. 16? Is that a hit or a miss?
That's a hit.
Alright, okay.
Does the size bonus help at all, or did you factor that in?
And you are hit for 4. Actually, size bonus should have made that a 15. Is it still a hit?
Still hit.
Okay, all right. 4.
I tried.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. All right. Then we have these two. Okay, the first one that is up there in front of Jash takes a swipe with his club and will clatter effortlessly against his shield. The second one lunges once again at Marigold and will once again find the mark.
That's not fun.
Maybe next time don't.
For a measly 4.
One again.
All right. This one here, he is targeting Daleth, swiping at him, missing the target.
Yep.
All right. Seeing that this guy has got a direwolf now at his back and a teeny tiny little dude in front of him, he is actually going to try to take on the direwolf instead. Seems like a more logical, sensible thing to do, and fails. And then the one in the center, he takes a swipe at his direwolf. What's the direwolf's AC?
Direwolf AC is 14.
And he will hit the center direwolf then for 8. Daleth.
Doing my attacks on the one who keeps attacking me.
Okay.
Ooh.
Natural 20! And
Mark
Shaq
crit.
it in with a 20.
Nice.
All right.
You know, with bull strength on you, you wouldn't be half bad.
My strength is 10.
All right. Well, that's pretty much an annihilation for the amount of hit points he had left. So all 4 blows hit. So you bring the axe down and slam it into his side. He winces in pain. The second axe hacks into his leg, throwing him up into the air, almost tripping him. And then spinning the axes both in his hands, he just drives both of them down into the guy's chest as he crashes to the ground in a triumphant, catastrophic splatter with blood traveling all across the area, up the sides of the building. Some of it lands all over you guys as well. It is a bloody mess. All right, Fezzik.
I'm going to start snapping lightning. So I'm going to use my call lightning spell.
Okay.
And go ahead and populate that. Let's become a bit of a focus. Here we are. So it's 3d6 reflex save versus 16, and I'm just going to start shooting at the guy who's still shooting at us right up there.
Okay, so you're going to try to dump this on the guy up top.
Yep.
All right. Reflex save. And they have a reflex, which he will fail.
That's not going to do it. Yeah, the full force of that.
Okay, the lightning comes down, striking him 13 points of damage. All right. Jash.
So again, as I duck out of the way of this guy's attack, I'm gonna look at my flail that now has that guy's face all over it, and look back at and go,
This is your last chance.
and start to get ready to see if he turns and runs. If not, I'm gonna swing at him again.
Give me one more intimidation check.
Okay.
Kill him with kindness.
Oh,
yeah.
look at him.
He down.
Natural 20.
All right. This time around, after watching their friend get killed, laying there on the ground all bloodied, he kind of glances to the guy at the left. The guy at the left that's in front of Marigold glances at him. They fling their weapons kind of in your faces, like as a distraction, like that may or may not help them. And they are both going to flee. You may make attacks of opportunity if you wish.
Nope. I'm going to.
Is Marigold going to?
I don't think she would.
I would kind of put my hand on Marigold and just kind of hold her like it's all right. And as they're fleeing, I would say,
It was a wise decision.
and oh, that guy's running too. They're all running.
Okay, it would clearly appear that the ones that were up on the roof, combined with the fact that they were thinking, we're quite safe up here, up until their buddy just had lightning blast out of the heavens and slam into him. And then seeing that, they're like, that whole we were outnumbering them thing is no longer a thing. Self-preservation is much bigger of a thing, and that is why they are fleeing. They are taking their toll to escape and run as best they can away. All right, Marigold.
Do I not get to do anything? Was that it?
Well, basically, you
Where are you
did the
going?
intimidation, and then you held your action, and you didn't do an attack of opportunity. What do you want to do?
I was gonna jump on top of this building here.
You want to try to climb the building? Okay, you
Yep.
can do that.
Okay, what do you want me to
Give
roll
me a climb
for it?
check.
Climb.
Man, he just works.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
Natural 20.
It's chase time.
All right.
Same posse, baby. 2018. Let's
Okay.
go.
Effortlessly, you managed to basically put one foot on the ledge of the window frame, throw your arm up, grabbing hold of the thatch roof, and finding a wooden beam that's kind of like underneath the thatch. You were able to pull yourself up and on the top of the building. That will be your turn.
Okay.
Okay. Wolves.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the. Shoot. Well, there's two on that one guy. I'm gonna see. I'd like to start with the one trying to climb again.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yep, go for it.
+7. Oh, that was close. That was
All
almost
right.
really
Okay.
embarrassing.
Yes. It can manage to complete its climb and will be up on the roof.
Okay.
That's its turn.
And then the one that just downed the guy at the bottom would probably also be climbing. Because the other ones are engaged already.
Okay. You want this one to try to climb up here?
Yeah, bottom.
Okay.
dog.
Go for it.
Rare, as I've been calling him, because yeah.
15 is just enough, so he will get up here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be looking at him.
And then the other two, I guess, are attacking their foes, huh?
Yeah. The one attacking the main guy, I would probably command him to just try and grapple him, like get him down so we can maybe get some answers out of him.
Okay, you want him to just kind of like knock him to the ground, but not tear him
Yeah.
to pieces.
Yeah.
All right. You can.
That'd be his attack roll anyway, right?
Does he have a grapple? He may not have a grapple, being a wolf.
It is a
'Cause
trick.
they have a free trip action they can do.
That's what you'd have to use, yeah.
Yeah. So
Because he
that's
can't
good.
really grab hold of anything, being a wolf, unless he uses his teeth.
Yeah.
But that is why they do have a trip. They can knock people to the ground.
Let's give it a try.
Alrighty. And let's see. Trip is always so complicated. Oh, damn it. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Direwolf that hits with a bite attack can attempt to trip his opponent.
Hang on. I need-
+11 modifier as a free action without making a touch attack or provoking attack opportunity. Yeah, so it's a plus 11 check modifier for the trip.
Yep. And so you have to hit first. Now you make the trip roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. With a 24. Does he have improved trip?
Direwolves? No, it's just regular trip.
Okay. Then the guy can make an attack of opportunity in retaliation to that, which he will miss. Alrighty. And then finally, let's see. Where is it? He has to make. Let's see. +4 bonus for every size category. So the size categories don't matter.
Yeah, because it's not
right.
like it's not a grapple. It's
Nope. Don't fancy his chances. No, he fails miserably. Okay, he is on his ass, and the direwolf is basically pounced on top of him, pinning him to the ground.
And then I
Alright.
guess the top one's just doing a straight attack.
Okay. And he will. His teeth will find the mark.
Gotta find the damage roll. There it is.
For 13. Alright, he is alive, but seriously bloodied, torn, and ripped. Okay, Rush.
Doesn't Marigold go before me?
Marigold went first. But
Yeah, we didn't really do anything for her, so.
Oh, okay.
unless she wanted to, I just assumed that you weren't
No.
doing anything with Marigold.
Alright.
Because I know that
We're gonna,
Jash kind of just grabbed her and said, hold off, don't do anything.
Alright, I'm
Okay.
gonna try this again. I'm gonna try to grab this dude.
Okay, shocking grass.
I'm gonna step up real close to him when I do it.
You get flanking this
Yeah,
time,
Flanking
right?
bonus on that.
Yes.
Yeah, you will get flanking, +2. Get in there.
It's Flanzig. Hi, Flanzig.
That's it.
Alright, so I'm gonna reach up there and grab him and say, I told you didn't want to do this.
We need to work on our catchphrases, you know?
Oh, I wasn't trying to do a catchphrase. You want me to come up with a catchphrase?
Yes, I do.
You're about to kill this guy, come on.
You've
You
been
just got
rushed.
You're dying. What a shocker. Okay,
Rush
go for
hour.
it.
It's a rush now.
It's Rush Hour 2. Like every time you kill someone, you add another.
Rush
Yeah,
Hour
sequel.
2, Electric Boogaloo, you know?
The shockening. Okay, go for it. Roll the damage. I'm sure these guys did not get paid enough for this. Alright, yeah, so grabbing hold of his leg, you send jolts and, plethora and plethora upon voltage up through his body. You see him like... He drops the axe where he stands. You see smoke begin to rise from his forehead. And as Rush removes his hand, he slumbers down into the ground, no longer breathing. Still slightly convulsing, but that was probably more through the shocks to his muscles than anything else.
I'm gonna spin around and point at the guy on the roof and say, you wanna come next?
Alrighty. Well, these two that are up here, have got direwolves suddenly crawled up there, which they're not at all impressed with. They are going to leap off the roof. In utter panic, make a jump check. And both of them will receive damage for doing so.
Oh no. These are the worst assassins.
Oh, these aren't assassins. These are just hired scum buckets. Alright, so yeah, they both leap to the ground, neither one landing particularly gracefully, wincing in pain as they hit the ground, and clearly have no intentions of sticking around if they can help it. With that, there's only this guy up here. At this point, he got lightning struck once. He is going to turn and also run.
No.
He is going to flee across the top of the rooftops. He has no intention of staying here and dying. What a stupid thing to do. Why would he?
I was going to jump flail him from across the roof.
Oh, you were going to I thought about doing that too. Yeah. Oh, it's such an epic thing.
All right. The one here that is underneath the wolf, he's going to attempt to throw the wolf off. Grapple check against wolf is a 12.
I think mine's at a +7 for his strength.
D20 plus 8. I think it's plus 8.
It's plus 8.
It's
I
plus
made a
8.
mistake.
Shaggit's wrong.
Okay. Well, Shagget, I revoke your title as wizard.
But he manages to throw the wolf off. So he actually does manage to get out from underneath the wolf and looks like he's going to attempt to sprint down between the wolves to try to make his escape. Of course, that means Daleth, you and Rush would get an attack of opportunity. All right. Daleth buries his axe in his back.
Actually, didn't want to kill him.
Well, he's not dead. It's more of a kind of a glancing gash than anything else. Rush, you want to do anything?
I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, sick him, Drusha.
All right. You want your mechanical weasel to try and have a bite? Go for it.
The weasel that felled the bandit
Weasel
leader.
attacks. The weasel will hit for 1. You choose to expend a static charge to do 1d3 points of damage if you wish.
Sass bite him in the dick. Jeez.
And she is gonna flee.
All right, okay, that's 3 points of damage. Okay, he's screaming now as he's trying to run and flee. Get it off! Get it off! Daleth, it is now your actual turn.
I am going to do something that only Jash really does well and attempt to tackle him as he's running.
With your noodle arms, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a leaping jump on his back to try to bring him down.
All right, give me a grapple check.
Oh no!
If anything, he might become encumbered.
All right, 16. I mean, you know.
Grapple miss.
Oh
No.
All right, yeah, you kind of grab hold of his back, and he just brings his left arm back and throws you off as he begins to continue to try to run. Physic.
Shoot. Well, I guess I'll lightning strike the one I can see across from me.
Okay.
Because I don't want to waste all these cool lightning bolts I got. I like these cool lightning bolts.
All right. For 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
We're at the 13.
And he gets a reflex save for half, right?
It's against 16, yep.
He fails miserably. Okay, 13 points of damage to him from lightning. Okay. Jash.
All right. So, I am going to angle towards the guy who I see
know what
running
you're
away.
going to do.
I am going to sprint towards the edge, and with the most majestic swan dive form, you're going to see me just poof, and using my inspiration, fly through the air and attempt to just grapple onto the back of him.
Oh, you want? So you're going to use your inspiration point?
Oh yeah,
for that.
I'm using it. I've had it for this long. I'm using it.
Well, all right then.
Why'd you get a 1 on your roll?
No. If he's going to use inspiration for something like this,
Well, he'll just roll a 1. He'll miss, just splat on the
Okay,
floor right beside him, and the guy will be laughing so hard we can still
so
get
tell
him.
me basically what you're doing.
So I'm running to the edge of the roof, and with just a huge jump, perfect form, aerodynamically flying through the air. I'm just gonna try to fall on top of the guy and just wrap him up.
The crowd goes
Not trying
You're
to
silent.
my
kill him.
aerodynamic form. I'm gonna try to fall.
Yeah, fall.
It's a double
gracefully,
tuck,
though.
triple Lindy from Jash,
I love that you
Windstriker.
had like two backpacks on, one with a lot of gold. So you probably weigh a lot. And you're just like
all of the gold, he
doesn't matter.
offloaded that into
backpack, right?
It was like a haversack.
yeah, he has like a haversack. So yeah,
Still weighs a lot.
of course it weighs a lot.
Do you know how strong I am?
All right. If you're going to use your inspiration point, I'm not going to make you roll. I'm going to say it works.
Yes.
Perfect. It's a non-combat maneuver. I think that it's perfectly fine that should happen right now. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Yep. So you flow yourself off the roof. Now, what I will get you to do is I'm going to get you to make the roll, not to see if you succeed, but to see how graceful it actually is.
Okay, what do you want? What am I rolling?
So you're going to be making a jump skill.
Oh, sweet.
I just
okay.
can't stop thinking like Nacho Libre.
Oh,
yes! Yes!
but hey, I have inspiration.
You do, which is why it's going to work regardless.
Yes,
Oh.
It's
okay.
going to work regardless.
Which is why I use
But it's
it,
just going
baby.
to be. This is why it's fun. You see, because yeah. So you see him fly off with his arms spread eagled, forgetting how much he actually weighs because he is so burdened down. He begins to descend considerably quicker than he initially thought. Instead of gracefully grabbing the guy, he just slams into the guy, hitting the ground himself. The guy is knocked flying and sprawls across the cobblestones. Let me move this wolf so I can grab him. And is thrown clear. Jash is a very non-graceful, crumpled heap on the ground, and he kind of knocks the wind out of himself a little bit. He's like, bang, into the ground. But it was successful. He does knock the guy flying, and although he doesn't kind of grab him and drag him to the ground, he does send the guy sprawling, and he smashes face first into the wall over here. All right. Marigold.
I don't know. Is anyone like really hurt? Some people took damage, right?
I'm dead. I think Josh probably took the most.
Did they take any damage from that fall?
I think Marigold would probably just be like turning to Cecilia, making sure she's okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
Yeah,
Cecilia is a quivering mess on the floor, which is nothing new for her. She is just in shock and scared, and fortunately she was told to get down, so she did. She's gone back into that common fetal position that you remember her spending a lot of time in below the veil, with her hands wrapped around her knees and curled up into a little ball. All right, wolves.
So I'm going to have the one above Jash turn and basically take this way up here and kind of block it off. As well as the wolf on top here is going to kind of run down that way and block that way off as well.
Okay.
Just kind of like slide down the roof there. And then I'm going to have the one by Jash there just turn and attack the one that's been electrocuted now. So I'll roll for that.
Okay.
Here's the attack.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
And it's that. Oh, it's
Or
close.
12. Alrighty. And what about this one up here? What's he doing?
He's gonna slide down the roof on this side and block off the guy's exit.
Okay.
Probably get a bite in too, but
He probably can. He's close enough to where he can just drop down and try to snap at the guy if he wants to.
all right.
But he will not hit the target. Actually misses for a change. All right.
hard with this.
Rush.
Alright, so I'm going to dash up to this guy, and I'm going to tell him the next shock will be lethal. Bluffing, of course. The next
Alright,
shock's lethal unless you tell us who sent you.
So what happens is, initially he's kind of scrabbling to regain his weapon, and he's sitting on the ground. He kind of turns over, half-heartedly raises the weapon until you kind of get in his face and say that. And then looking around him, feeling the breath of all these ginormous wolves all around, seeing all of you guys standing around him, he just puts the weapon down on the floor and just kind of like slumps his shoulders down and lets out a breathe. Big sigh. Okay, these two here, seeing that, they are going to drop their crossbows and begin pleading for their lives. The first one is, as the wolf is like snapping at him, he's like, "Cool off! Cool it off! I've got a wife and kiddies back home! Cool it off!"
Yeah, hearing that, if I can, I'd have like the one wolf close off the corner so that I have two on either side, basically blocking them in.
Okay, what about this one?
And they would like disengage, kind of thing. So I guess I'd have them like block that off with the two wolves.
Oh, okay. All right. So you want this one to kind of let go and come down here.
Once they've dropped their weapons, I'd have them kind of wall it in like that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Yep. So the alleyways are now full of snarling viciousness.
Mm-hmm.
What's the duration on that?
So I used level 5. The fifth one is that's not the right one. Pull up the right level here. I'm so sorry. It takes a minute for me to pull up things because I'm learning how to read. Doesn't say on this page. I think it's just the one on 1 round per level. So 9 rounds. 9 rounds.
Okay. So there's still 3 or 4 rounds left. So not long. Okay. Okie dokie. So you've moved those into position.
It's basically, I just want them to block everyone in until everybody else can get up there and support. So basically, long enough for Jesh to get up.
Right. Well, as I said, the ones that had the crossbows, they have dropped those on the ground. Pagan Heart Resubbery for 27 months in a row. Much love for that. Take your pants off. Hit the hype.
Thanks, Pagan.
Appreciate it, man. Alrighty. So they've dropped their weapons. This one is going to kind of move over here and get as close to this one as he can, which actually is not anything to do with it. It's just getting as far away from the 2 giant wolves as he can. Okay. Yep. And none of them are doing anything. One is sitting on the ground with Rush standing in front of him. The other 2 are just kind of standing there with their hands raised, looking incredibly scared. All of them seriously battered and bloody. However, the one that is directly on the ground in front of Rush is seriously hurt. I mean, you can see, he's got blood trickling down the corner of his mouth. He has huge, big gashes and teeth marks on him. Not to mention a couple of really nasty gashes from hand axes. Okay, what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to go and help Jash up, because I imagine he's hurting a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to
he didn't take any damage. If anything, it's his pride maybe hurt a little.
Well, that's what
I got the wind knocked out, so I'm going to turn away from our captives and pretend like I'm dusting myself off, but I'm doing that thing where when you lose your breath, you're like... but I don't want him to see that.
Broken breathing.
Yeah,
so seeing that I'm going to stand with Jash behind me, so it's even less visible.
And as I finally control my breathing, I'm going to get really mad that I just did that and turn around and walk up to the assumed leader of the party and just kind of put my hands on his collar and push him back against the wall and just look right at him in the face and say, "Oh, Roy."
Well, prior to that, while you're calming yourself, Rush is already right there, like in his face. So what does Rush want to do? No, that's all right.
I'm gonna make sparks come out of my hand, and I'm gonna say, "So start talking. Who sent you? Who wanted Cecilia?"
Okay. He kind of. If I tell you, I'm done for. You understand? I'm done for. As he spits up some blood.
Why?
People that hired us far further reaching than you are.
So when after
you
saying
don't
that,
tell me you're done for.
Yeah, I'll walk up and that's when I'll pick him up and just say,
And if you don't tell us what's going on, I promise you'll meet the same fate, but just a lot sooner.
How do I know you'll let us go?
I mean, I let your friends go, yeah? They had a choice. They chose very wisely.
Yeah, that
I
was before,
suggest-
though. So
what?
if I tell you who hired us, you'll let us go, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I pick
At
up
least
the
you might have
crossbows
a
in front of me?
chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I'll pick those up.
Yeah, you got two very large, heavy crossbows.
I'm not holding them like I can. I'm just holding them to get them away from
Like-
them,
just
basically.
just holding him like
Resting against your shoulders.
Say hello to my massive buddies.
He says, look, I don't know a name. It was just a shady fella approached me and said that if I could get some of the rest of me boys together and we would wait down a dark alley here, said that a group of people would be coming. A rifleman and some big heavy fella with armour and a shield, couple of gnomes. Look, when we found you, well, we were supposed to take all of you out, as it were. Leave you for dead, battered and bruised. Make it look like a gang robbing, that you were all beaten senseless and discarded in the streets. And we were told to make sure that whatever happens, that the young girl, was one of them. But we were supposed to take her body and make sure we found its way over the wall. Which, of course, me and my lads have got some expertise in.
You're supposed to get rid of her body.
What shade of blue were his lips? If you don't mind my asking.
Didn't see his
I'm
face.
gonna call off the wolves and be like, you two should run.
Oh, the other two?
Yeah.
Right, well, by now they'll be vanishing anyway, so,
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, then, the two with the crossbow will slowly back out of there, like, watching you as if they're half expecting to get stabbed in the back. But once
That's not running.
once they get a few feet away to where they feel comfortable that you won't be able to reach them, they turn and flee as fast as their legs will carry them down the corridor or down the alleyway to the south. Okay. He says, I never saw his face, but there was something familiar about his voice. I'd heard it before, that's for sure. Think he was trying to disguise it. Called me punk 2 or 3 times.
Punk, huh?
Or would I be able to use hypnotism to help him remember?
If he's lying, possibly. I mean, if he legitimately did see, and can't remember, it's possible.
I'll go ahead and give it a shot. I'll hypnotize him and ask him again, see if maybe it sounded familiar to him, so maybe somewhere it clicked. Or maybe he's lying to me, and I can punch him in the dick.
That would probably kill him.
Yeah, I think that would totally kill him.
Which
Like,
might be worth the try.
Why don't we make him do an impression?
Alrighty. So you're
Do
gonna
that
cast
too.
hypnotism?
Hypnotism.
Alright. Okay, no, he legitimately did not see the guy. But Pop, do you have go ahead and put hypnotism in the chat thingy.
Alrighty.
So chat can see it. Llama Eater, 36 months of love. Much appreciated, man.
Hey,
Take your pants
thanks,
off, hit that hype.
It's like 3
It's like
years.
6 babies. it's 4 babies. I'm gonna have 4 babies.
There you go. Alright. Okay.
Thank you for the babies.
So the way that kind of works is you kind of offer some kind of suggestion, like a request or something. So how do you want to phrase it? What do you want to say when you use your hypnotism?
Um,
And then you got to roll 2d4 to see how many hit dice you can actually affect as well. Alright, so it'll affect up to 6 hit dice. Okay, cool.
all right, so I'll say something like, close your eyes and remember. What did he sound like? It was familiar.
Alright.
Where have you heard it before?
Okay, so you see him kind of stop and think, and he says, "Yeah, I've definitely heard it before. Seem to remember running from that voice a few times. That's right. Last time I heard that voice, he said, 'If I catch you, punk, it'll be more than the chokey for you.' I know who it was. It was that bastard Sergeant Slate."
You just earned your life.
He says, "Yeah, it was Slate. That was right. I knew I recognised him. Heard his voice and all that. I mean, he was trying to keep it quiet. You know, he's trying to trick me. He was, but I remember now. It was him. Yeah, and he handed me a big pouch of gold coins and said that I was to make sure that he said that you would be heading down to the Drunk's Ear Tavern, and we were to wait there. And when we saw you going down the street, we were to ambush you as quick as possible."
Can I sense motive?
You can try, yeah. "Make sure that we took care of all of you and made sure that the young girl's body went over the wall and was not found." At this point, you think he's pretty much telling the truth. He seems to have clung to the idea that maybe he actually might get out of this alive, and he seems to be more than happy to spill his guts at this point.
So he really believes it's Slate.
As far as you can tell, yeah.
It sounds like Slate.
All right, I'm going to glance to the others and say, anything else?
Well, you know what that means. That means he did not alert the nobles that we are here.
Yeah, I kind of figured he wouldn't.
So we need to get a message to them without directly.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem, actually.
Seeing as you're going to let me go and all, he told me that, because I said to him, how did he know that you were coming this way? And how did he know that you were going to be a little while? And he said that it was somebody on the southern wall, not southern wall, sorry, eastern wall, had told him that you were about to arrive. And that's when he told us to get in position, you know, get my lads together and get in position and wait on you. But he seemed to know that you were definitely coming this way.
So
yeah, because we told him we were.
Yeah, but the people.
You should hide.
Look, I have every intention of disappearing for as long as I can, and if given an opportunity under the circumstances, I might see if I can't stow away on a dirigible and get my ass out of Azamir.
That might be a good idea.
But no hard feelings, understand. Got to make a living. You know, it's a job, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just about as viable as anything else up here.
I mean, you don't know us personally, so.
No, it was nothing personal, just a paycheck.
I'm actually gonna pat him with a Cure Light Wounds. To just kind of get it across that we get it.
Okay, go ahead, give him a heal. All right, yeah, putting him back in a reasonable condition to be able to actually walk out of here in one piece instead of stagger and crawl. So I'm free to go now, yeah?
Yeah, keep your head down.
God bless.
I think you're right. Slate will kill you.
God bless you, sir. God bless all of you, and you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Very, very much appreciate all your all your kindness that you have shown
Go,
a poor,
go
misguided
quickly.
individual. I'll
Go
go
quickly.
straight
Shut up
after
and
today,
go.
I promise.
Hide. Go hide now.
Go.
All right, and he very quickly scurries off down the street, no doubt
eruption of gunpowder.
thanking his lucky stars that he managed to survive the night.
So, as he leaves, I'm just going to turn to everyone. Maybe the tavern's not where we should go since sleep.
No, I think we should go to Charybdis.
Who?
If we
My
go
teacher.
if we go to the
Oh,
Guild of Thumb, they don't care too much for touchy law-like situations. But this seems more like a coup than anything else. What would his motivations be to?
Well, I didn't like how much his voice sounded like mine. I don't know about all of you.
I was about to
like
say
it.
that. I was about to say that. It just wasn't right. It's not.
No.
You know, it was
Really
like a cheap
bothered me.
knockoff.
how are we going to get word to the
Sorry.
noble people?
Easy. We just send a message to her father.
Okay, so who's going to do that?
Well, if Marigold can't today, we could try and catch a rat.
Or maybe Charybdis can.
Now, none of you have actually met her father before. So you
Oh,
wouldn't
wait. Who was the guy that we met?
you were hired by one of the other high-ranking nobles.
Yeah.
And if you remember, you met in one
You met-
noble's house,
yeah.
and there was another noble
Yeah.
who didn't speak much, an
Didn't
older
say a
guy.
word.
So there was actually two nobles that hired you. Neither one was Lord Arnborn.
What about Marigold's daddy?
I don't think she would.
I'm gonna say Marigold probably wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances, she hates her family. She's turned her back on him and has pretty much been cut off from the
Well,
purse.
Let's ask Cecilia to make sure that the people who hired us are somebody that she would trust.
Okay, ask her. Ask away.
I can't. I don't remember their names.
I have.
All I
it in the-
remember
Well,
is
Josh-
Camille.
What about the lady who was like flirting with you?
Camille. That's the only one I remember.
What? Message to Camille. Are you ready for your I don't know threesome or whatever it was they offered?
Wait, to me?
What if we were hired by people that
Was it?
had?
Or was it
Uh,
Danyan?
I
Oh,
thought
it was
you were thinking of
Danyan.
someone else.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, it was Danyan, the previous incarnation that was.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. My fault.
Trying to remember the names because like I had notes
Cecilia,
with all of it.
are there any other nobles that maybe you don't really trust?
I mean, there's.
That might mean you harm or your family?
Well, it's a very complicated lifestyle we live, you see. Nobody ever does anything towards anybody else openly. It's always done in the shadows. I doubt that there's anybody that really means me any harm, but of course, my father, Lord Peregrine Armborn, being that he is the High Lord, there could be numerous people that might want to undo him.
Guys, when Cecilia went missing, how come it was other nobles and not her father that needed someone to go find her?
That you probably could easily know the answer to. Being that he is the High Lord, he's probably not going to approach you himself and actually do the hiring.
Somebody message Jane and ask her what these guys' names are.
So yeah, it was more, he probably had other nobles do it for him because he is so high and mighty that he's not going to lower himself to hiring ruffians and scum.
Well,
Even though it is his daughter, that is just how obnoxiously pompous these assholes on the other side of the wall really are.
they didn't want anybody to know about it. We need to get off the streets. Where are we going? My
Well,
suggestion is either Charybdis or my family home. But it needs to be somewhere that he's not going to come looking.
Yeah, where would he not expect us to go?
That was why I suggested Charybdis.
Charybdis would be able to hide us.
I'm not registered as a magic user, but she's the one who taught me.
I'm very rarely on the record there. It would probably be... Yeah, that seems like a good place to hide. Now that I think about it, yeah, let's go there.
Lead the way.
All right, so you
Quick.
guys are all going to try to... Now, of course, if you remember, the streets were covered in Slate's guards, claiming that they were enforcing the curfew.
And we are past the curfew.
Oh, way past. So it could be trying to get your way from the slums and through the more wider parts of town where it is actually a little larger and harder to hide yourselves may be possibly risky. Excuse me.
I mean, we could just try to get the attention of someone in the slums, pay them 10 golds, and crash there, you know? I mean...
There's not much room in these houses, though.
Yeah, you guys are all right here right now. And you need to get kind of
Where?
up here sort of way. If you're trying to get to Charybdis' house.
Oh, we're going to their house.
Which means you're going to have to go across. You're going to have to cross one of the main streets. Not saying it's. I mean, not saying you can't do it. Just be aware that you know that there are guards everywhere. All of the city watch are out enforcing this so-called curfew, and being that they are Slate's men, not only are they known to be huge sticklers for enforcing the law, but there's always that possibility that they might be involved in it.
Well, we have ghost sounds. Do you have Pass Without Trace?
And it's not really going to matter much where there's streets and dull noses.
Guys, I really don't want to have to fight town guards.
That's, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get John involved in this.
What about... Wait, no, we're on a mountain. Sorry. I was gonna say, what if we go down, like, underground? We're in a mountain.
There are tunnels, but I don't know where any of them are.
Yeah,
I was thinking like a sewer, but I don't think we...
No, the sewage system here basically it has grates that go just with pipes that go straight outside the walls and off the side of the mountain.
I mean...
What of that house where the Bidges take people to beat them up?
Well, that was like down here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was an abandoned house down there but that was 8 months ago it was abandoned.
Yeah, and they'd be watched. There'd be someone there by now.
We just need to get off the street as soon as possible, I feel.
Yes, we do. Let's make a decision.
Can Marigold send a message now, or...?
No.
Well, she can't send a message to Lord Armborn because she's never met him.
Yeah, not to Armborn, but just up
Maybe to somebody else that could help us.
She didn't have it taken, so...
Oh, okay.
We'd have to have a rest.
She'd have to
first.
sleep for 8 hours to be able to do that. Well, she doesn't have to sleep for 8 hours. She just has to wait till the following morning.
Yeah.
Yep. Dawn, the following day, is when she gets her spells back.
I still think we should try to find a house in the slums and just crash there.
That seems like probably...
At least until the curfew's up.
Yeah.
We pay them money, we just make do.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Sounds like a plan. We need shelter until the curfew's
All right.
up.
Any particular type of house? Anything you're trying to... Anything that's going to help gauge what house you pick? Or are you just going to randomly go up to one of the slum houses, bang on the door, and take it from there?
Are none of us from here? None of us stay in the slums, do we?
Well, yes, but you stay,
I stay in the tavern. Right?
stays at the tavern right here.
Well, what's this larger building right here? Is that just a slum house?
It's just a larger slum house. It's actually, this house right here is actually the orphanage.
Well, we're orphans, technically.
Very old and big and ugly orphans, but orphans nonetheless, some of you.
You might have some.
Yeah, you gnomes. Pretend to be kids and go up to the door and knock and say, "We're orphans."
That solves the problem for two of us.
No, and then when the door's open, we'll bum rush in, you know.
Bum rush in.
Well, yeah.
Assault the
Can we pay them?
orphanage, that's...
Trying to do this
But we
quietly
know
in
that
the
there's
street.
only kids in there and there's like a matron or something who runs it, right?
We're trying to do this as discreetly as possible.
We're trying to do something that won't alert the guards to where we are.
Well, we can walk in there and just say we're making a generous donation
Yes.
for us to maybe.
Yeah, Jash will volunteer the business.
That's the plan, actually.
Okay.
That's not a bad plan. That's a little better than bum rushing.
Well, you're always surprised when I have an idea, eh?
I'm
No,
not
it's just
saying
we
it
were
as a
kind
surprise.
of at
I'm
a
saying
loss,
in
and none of us
actuality,
had
it's
an
a lot better.
idea.
Yeah,
So that's a good idea. Good job, Josh.
We'll give the kids
Thanks.
like a gold coin piece. They'll be happy if
That's
we bother.
quite a lot of money.
Okay.
Josh
So you
has
want to go
it.
down to the orphanage and basically knock on the door with this plan of...
Yes.
Okay.
Can we have shelter until the curfew is up? Here's some money to help your orphanage.
All right. Well, you go banging on the door. It's not too long before you see the window shutters lift, and you see a woman kind of peer out. She's got kind of like a brownish hair that's kind of pulled up in a bun. Probably a middle-aged, reasonably attractive, to be honest, for someone that, you know, there's not a whole lot of dirt
really?
on this woman. But she kind of looks, and then she
she
taps
likes
on the
short
window,
people,
and
yeah.
you see her go like,
Gonna say anything? Physic?
Why? I'm not the one
We-
good at schmoozing. I can't
We
do this.
need shelter from the curfew. We'll give you money. We don't. We
well,
just.
she's kind of up here on the side window, just kind of like trying to shoo you off. So you can't hear her through the glass any more than she can hear you, probably, from where she is. She hasn't come to the door.
Come on,
You're
Rush,
muted.
This is your specialty.
You're muted.
Thank you. I'm gonna reach back and just kind of get a handful and just kind of push it up to where she could see like
So you're
that.
gonna show her the money. Show me the money.
Show her the money, and I'm gonna mouth to her,
Think of the children.
as I hold it up.
All right, you see her like she goes. Closes up the shutters, and then you hear footsteps. Clop, 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 clop. She comes to the door. You hear what sounds like a bolt slide, and then she pulls the door open just a crack. And she says, "What do you want? Do you know what time it is?"
Exactly. That's what we need. We need shelter. We know the curfew's up, and
Ah,
we're willing to pay.
There's a tavern just 2 doors down. Go to the tavern.
There are a bunch of bitches in there, or whatever they're called. What are they called?
Yeah.
Is it
and it's-
bitches?
Tell her there are bitches in there.
The
bitches.
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 It's a
And
name of
it's,
the Bidgies. It's a name of a gang. Yeah.
Oh, the bitches. Yeah.
It's really
Don't
noisy, and we're all very light sleepers, and we figured this might be a place where we could get a good night's rest, yeah?
I'm gonna point at Cecilia and say, "My friend, she doesn't like the tavern."
And that large quantity of coins that you were flaunting in the streets, you'll get mugged, you know. Somebody will attack you.
Oh, no one
I'm
would
not
do.
worried about that.
No.
So,
But we just want shelter. We'll give you gold.
well, I mean, I understand, but I've got a lot of children here that I have to put first. You see?
We'll protect the children if anything comes to that. We love children, right, guys? Right? Physics a mom.
Yes, but you don't exactly look like the sort that would be particularly kind to children. You're a bit rough around the edges. And we heard lots of...
I am a part of the military, man.
Lots of screaming earlier, and there was wolves howling and all kinds of caterwauling down the street from here.
Yeah, we saw that. It was disturbing. That's why we want to get off the streets for sure.
I'm going to walk up to the lady and just look her and say,
Ma'am, I don't know if you recognize me, but I'm one of the main fighters down at the arena. And we have a for the kids night. For the scraps to come and watch the fights, and I just want you to know I'm the one who made that happen, because I put children first.
No, I'm sorry, I don't allow the orphans to go and watch such barbaric violence. It sends the wrong impression to them.
Well, I'm just standing up here looking at Jeff like...
Ma'am, my name is Daleth. I am a part of the military in this fair city, and I am escorting this woman, and I'm going to show her Cecilia, who needs to be indoors at least until tomorrow, and that's it.
I sympathize, it's very cold outside,
Marigold
but,
will push her way
but as I
forward.
said, there's a tavern just down the road, and they have food of a sort, and warming beverages, and a roaring fireplace, much more suitable than an orphanage. Not to mention, if I don't have any beds, you'd have to sleep on the floor, very uncomfortable.
We would be fine with that.
Marigold would say something here, guys.
Sure.
She might say something like I'm a priestess of Tritherion, and I am trying to help the orphanage and everybody that lives here so they have a better standard of life. Or something. I don't know what she
hence the gold that Jash will be giving you.
yeah, and I'm going to reiterate. I'm going to pull the goal again back out. And
How much gold are
present
we
it to
talking
her.
about, precisely? Give me a number.
I'd probably say like just a handful. So I mean, a pretty good amount.
Like a whole fistful?
Not like a huge. Just let's take it easy.
So like 7 or 8 gold pieces, maybe?
Yeah, like a good amount for I would
Okay.
imagine.
An orphanage.
And we'd rather have you have our money than the tavern.
Oh, I simply don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, we really could use the money.
Yeah, so just take it.
But I just
right here.
don't know if I can trust you, you see?
I'm a priestess of Tritherion. Of course you can trust me.
Well, so you say, but,
Do a spell. Heal Jash. He took damage, right?
Yeah, watch this cut right here. Watch it. All right, go.
Okay, so you're gonna have her basically heal you?
Yeah.
Alright, what type of healing spell is she casting?
We'll do Cure Light.
Okay.
'cause- No, I can't click on the icons, but...
Oh. Yeah,
But,
you just roll 1d8 plus 5.
She'd probably make it all theatrical, like, please.
Okay,
Tritherion,
12.
please
Yeah,
bless
so
this
quite
man.
a significant heal. Alright, so yeah, so
shit.
she's gonna ham it up. And
If any of the children are ill or sick or have cuts, she'll tend to them in the morning.
well, several of them do have croup. Oh, okay, fine. Just come on in. Gold first, please.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'll just hand it over to her.
She takes it and stuffs it into her apron and opens the door just enough to let each of you push through, and then she closes it and bolts it back from the other side. Alright, it's all the hallways are dark. Like, there's only a couple of candles lighting any of it anywhere. There's a musty smell in the air, and there's a flight of stairs right in front of the doorway that goes up, of which you can see what appears to be about 9 or 10 little kitties all peering down the stairs, like in a little line on either side of the hallway. Like little heads, like one on top of the other.
Hello.
She's like, to bed! Off to bed, all of you! Come on! Nothing to see here, go to bed at once! And they all kind of scatter. She's like, follow me down to the parlour. You can sleep in there. There's a wood burner there. At least it's warm. Right, and she kind of like picks up one of the candles and wanders down the hallway, beckoning you to follow her.
We do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
you enter what basically it looks like a kitchen that's got one table stuck next to another table and another table. So somebody's put 3 wooden tables together, like one huge big dining table in the center, with barely enough room to walk around either side of it. There's a preparing area on the kind of back wall, and then you can see like a fireplace with a little wood burner stove type thing in front of that. There's a basket on the side that is, you can see, has got some hardtack biscuits and a couple of loaves of bread, which is pretty decent food for orphans. It's unlikely that she was able to afford those, unless more likely that some benevolent person actually donated the bread themselves to the orphanage. When she gets there, she kind of pulls the benches out, and she says, feel free to sleep on the benches, under the table, prop yourselves up, whatever. I've got some old blankets here somewhere if you need something to cover yourselves up with.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. And, you mind telling us what happened in the past 8 months?
What do you mean?
Like, in the city, with the curfew and everything. That's all new to us. We came in via the dirigible not too long ago, so we're fresh off the boat, if you were.
I don't really understand all the politics behind it, but I do know that there was some rumors floating around, you see, that something had gone terribly amiss over with the nobles, and I had heard that somehow one of the high-ranking lords at the city of Spheros was very upset, and that there was rumors that there was possibilities of attempts were going to be made on Lord Peregrine Arnborn's life by Spherosian assassins. So they've been keeping the streets clear after 9, and the watchmen have been frisking anybody that they seem to think looks suspicious. Several people, innocent people, I'm sure, have been carted off and arrested and locked away. Oh yes, it's been quite an unpleasant circumstance for people. Of course, they don't tend to come down here much, so this is probably the best place for you, yes.
Well,
I don't really have much to offer you to eat, I'm afraid. There's a few hard-tack biscuits over here, and as she says that, she goes over and removes both of the loaves of bread and tucks them under her arm. Feel free to eat any of these. Very kind of you to give us this donation. This will go a long way to help feeding the children. Your name, Miss the Priestess. What is your name? Forgive me, I don't know what your proper title is. Priestess? Is it Priestess?
Marigold Smith, whatever it is.
In the morning, if you wouldn't mind seeing to 2 or 3 of the little ones that aren't too well, that would be very, very appreciated.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'll leave you for tonight. I trust you'll be warm. Please, if you would confine yourselves to here. I don't want any of the children to be alarmed or frightened by hearing strange noises wandering around the house.
Of course.
No, of course not.
Alrighty.
Tempted to cast ghost sounds in the room above me, making a bunch of spooky noises.
Okay. Alright. So yeah, she exits the door and closes it quietly behind her, leaving you in the meager kitchen. But again, considering how cold it is outside, at least it's warm.
So...
Cece, is this what you were talking about? That you were afraid that something like this might happen?
I didn't think it would be quite this bad. Someone's trying to murder Papa?
So they're gonna do an arranged marriage between Spheros and Azimir. And then the dirigible crashes. So the Lord of Spheros is now mad at your dad, Papa.
Well, you
It
see,
And
sounds
wants
like
him
Slade
dead.
wants this to happen for whatever reason.
well, as I said earlier, it's very complicated being highborn, and I was due to marry Lord Edgar Holt of Sphæros. As is our custom, we are to have 3 chaperoned, I suppose you common people would call them dates. I'd had the first and was on my way to have the second. And that's when the explosion happened and the dirigible crashed. Unfortunately, I believe it was most probable that, to save face, that our family made up excuses and probably told a few falsehoods about why I didn't arrive when I was supposed to, which would have probably worked for a while, but being as it's been so many months since I was here, they probably started to demand answers, and one of 2 things has probably occurred. Either they were forced to tell the truth, in which case I'm sure Lord Edgar Holt is furious at the lies, or they've continued to try to not tell the truth, and he's had enough of it. And if indeed he is that upset, perhaps it is true that he might have put out some kind of contract on my father.
So if returning you to your dad would happen, do you think the contracts and the assassination attempts would stop, or do you think this is too far?
I don't know, because, I mean, I really don't understand things that well. I mean, I've grown up in and around the court, but I was kept away from most of these sort of things. Just things I heard in, corridors and behind closed doors.
It doesn't quite explain why Slate would be out to kill you.
I mean,
He would stand to gain something.
depending
it
on
would
what my
seem.
father actually said, if they told the truth and I can be returned, then perhaps things could be worked out. Maybe some kind of additional dowry could be put forward, and things could be done to possibly make amends. But of course, without knowing what exactly transpired, I don't know. Now, if they perhaps said that unfortunately I died and was lost or whatever, now if I was to suddenly show up, perhaps it would be more of a huge inconvenience for them than anything else. I really don't know. But all I do know is I dearly would love to be returned to my family again as soon as possible.
How do we sneak you past the wall?
We gotta get the nobles to leave the wall. They have more authority than Slight.
They do.
So we need to find someone that Marigold knows, that also you know, Cecilia, for her to send a message to that you could potentially trust.
Who was that older gentleman that we met?
I don't know any of these names.
Yeah, I had a notebook with him. I'm mad. I have no idea where everything went. Oh, that's right. I bet I took it with him when he died.
Oh,
Ned had it.
So
Yeah, Ned had your notebook, unfortunately.
did the noble who was sitting behind the desk ever speak?
Well, let me put it to you this way. The noble that hired you, the one whose house you went to visit, was Lord Matthias Mayer. Now, there's no way you wouldn't know these nobles, not if you came here, or if you come from here. And then he was actually... there was another noble that was there that obviously was in charge of the whole transaction, but didn't speak.
Right. So, knowing the name Matthias Mayer, I would say, why don't we just send a message to him to retrieve us?
That would probably be for the best. The trouble is, we'd also have to explain that Slate's hired thugs to kill us for some reason.
Well, I would rather make that accusation on the other side of the wall than over here, right?
Yeah, but I'd also not like him to get up to Slate and say, hey, go find them. Because then Slate's just going to come up and kill us.
Well, we could tell him that we already spoke with Slate, and for some reason he didn't. I mean, Slate should have told you this, and if Slate didn't, then he'll know.
It would
Something's
put him on
amiss.
spot at least, yeah.
I could say for sure that would be a fair assessment. There is every chance that if they believed that they were sending someone to retrieve their daughter, unless any of them have reason to suspect Sergeant Slate, there's a very high likelihood that that is indeed who they would send.
I think we should tell, so when we send the message, say that we notified Slate, and if Slate hasn't come to talk to them yet over something this important, they might
want to see it for themselves.
Is not to be trusted.
But I don't think that we should insinuate that Slade tried to kill us yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we should
Okay.
let Slade know that we know that he's the one that sent them to kill us.
Okay, so we say we entered the city, we let Slate know. If he hasn't told you what? If he hasn't informed you of that we're here, I mean,
We
you
figure
have to
this
say
is something that's time
How
is
about,
of the
how about
essence.
we frame it, we have arrived in the city, and we informed Slate to inform you of our arrival. He told us to wait and still hasn't returned.
All right, 25 words, right?
Yeah, something along those lines. Like, he said to wait for him, and he hasn't shown up.
Well, the problem with that is that we are not where we said we would be. So he
We
could
need to put somebody
counterclaim.
there to watch.
I mean, you could easily make a counterclaim.
Yeah,
that, well,
yeah.
You're not where you said you were.
So we told Slate. He told us he'd inform you, but we wanted to be sure that you got word, so that it's framed like, we tried to tell you through him. If he hasn't told you, we wanted to make sure you knew. So then it might be curious to them. Why didn't Slate tell me? Their whole lives are wrapped up in little dramas of who said what. So I think they'd pick up on it.
Well, in theory, Slade wouldn't come get us until after he had told them, hey, they're here with her. So if he hasn't gone and told them that we're here with her, then technically he wouldn't have come to find us yet.
Maybe tell him we arrived last night.
Well, I mean, like, in case he tries to say, hey, I went to go get them, they weren't where they said they were going to be, well, he would have already told them.
He wouldn't have had to get us.
He already would have reported that we're here.
Okay.
This doesn't really add up.
So,
assume that the bastards who attacked us were successful. Would they report to Slate or whoever was disguised that they were successful? Because just doing the job doesn't give Slate any guarantee that it was successful, right?
Oh no, I'm sure that he probably was going to offer them more gold that they would have to come back for. But
okay. So now we disrupted that plan and we let them go. So he said he was going to the dirigible to escape, but what if he wasn't and he gets in contact again and is obviously will tell the truth? Well, then he'll let him know that we escaped and survived and we're not dead.
He's going to know that anyway.
Okay.
Either way, he underestimates us.
I don't like these. We have what? We could do 50-word message if she casts it twice, right? Because this, I mean, that's a lot for one message, and then we have no recourse. Like,
But why are we including...
Well, they can reply. So I guess maybe we may need to use it twice, depending on how they respond.
Why are we including Slate in the first place?
So that they know, because if we tell them, hey, we're here, they may tell him to come get us.
Yeah, so what
Or they may use him, but we need them to...
We have your daughter. If you want to see her alive, don't trust Slate. Something along those lines, maybe.
So
That's
now-
a little
I know it sounds like a ransom note. I'm just getting the idea out there. Just maybe go around Slate so he doesn't even have to know.
Right. We send a
Well,
message.
precisely. If we tell them we told Slate,
But then they're going to confront Slate. Slate's going to know we escaped, etc., etc. What if we
he's
just
going
go
to know we
around him?
escaped anyway.
Not if he isn't told by the nobles.
No, but if the people he hired don't come back to him, I'm sure he'll know.
So something like the rescue party has returned. We informed Slate that he would inform you. In urgency, we are telling you directly by use of magic.
Okay,
I
and
don't
then
think
what?
we should. Yeah, exactly. I don't think we should insinuate yet
Right.
that Slate.
I agree, but what would we say after that? Because that doesn't get us to them any quicker, because they won't know where we are. They'll know that we are here.
We
Possibly
need to wait for
successfully.
their reply.
Yeah, we could maybe ask them a question so they could reply back to it. Like, where would you like to meet, or something like that.
Gore, are the walls between the towers walkable?
Oh, you mean like if you're up on the top, can you walk along them? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can walk along the tops of those walls all day long. Again, though, they have guards, you know.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, you absolutely can.
Okay. And then, so say what you said, Physic, and then wait for a reply, and then respond again.
The rescue party has returned. We informed Slate that he would inform you. In urgency, we are telling you by use of magic. I think
We want to meet with you without Slate. I mean, that doesn't put suspicions on Slate. But this, the situation as it is, right, with the curfew.
Well, we could tell them that Cecilia wants to see her father immediately, or
Cecilia wishes to return home.
maybe say that she's unwell and needs to see someone that she is comfortable with. Maybe she's frightened, or
During the day, the guard might be a little bit thinner. Since it's not curfew time, we can probably blend into crowds and stuff. We could get anywhere else in the city as long as we avoid that central tower and maybe...
Well, the guilds
is-
are the next up on the ladder, right, in hierarchy?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, Slate doesn't want to dirty his hands with us. He had ranks of guards out. Granted, he had them not allow us entry and had those two at the front block it off, but he doesn't want his guard to kill us because that would look bad. It would draw attention.
Well, the reason why we escaped our first encounter with him is because he had that set up with the thugs. And he thought that would deal with it, right?
I think moving forward, if we don't throw anything at him, he can't shoot us in daylight.
That's not entirely true.
I mean, he could, but it would.
I think you're putting a lot of faith. Well,
It wouldn't benefit him.
I mean,
he can't shoot Cecilia.
And I don't know how many of his guard he's telling to shoot a noblewoman, it'd probably be in pretty tight need to know kind of.
She doesn't exactly look like a noblewoman right now, and it's very easy for them to kill us all and then have an international incident occur.
Wait a
It's
second.
like, oh, we
She's
didn't
the
know
daughter
this
of the
was
person who rules this place. What if we just put her in front and had her be authoritative?
That's still risky. What if they shoot at her?
We can
Then
load
they
her up on.
freaking shot the daughter of the.
I mean, is she in the right state of mind to be authoritative and regal looking?
They said she was completely better.
I mean, yeah, she has. She's no longer in a bad state of mind, other than the fact that A, she still knows what she's been through. B, she desperately wants to get back to her family, and C, an attempt on her life was just made. So she is a bit shaken, but all of her faculties are there. She is,
So we load her up with
Okay,
protective magic.
they
Put
would
her
know
in
what she
front of the
looks
file.
like, yeah?
Yeah, put her out front for all to see. Maybe we'll bedazzle her with some of Jash's jewels so she looks the part. And we just walk behind her as the procession, and she just says, I am the daughter, let me through. When Slate approaches, she says, get the Phallic away from me. And, yeah, maybe.
Maybe send the message as well.
Well, yeah, send the message
Oh,
beforehand.
definitely.
Yeah. Like,
Tell them
meet us at the gates.
Yeah, we're approaching the gates, yeah.
Your daughter's arriving. Or the
Yeah,
daughter
and
of Armbar. Yeah,
And
whatever.
then tell them we're approaching the gates. That way they meet us there.
right. So, what is the message that you're actually going to send? What's your 25 words that you're sending?
I've made a couple of contractions here. So right now it's down to 18 words with the rescue party has returned. Informed Slate that he would inform you. In urgency, we're telling you magically. Meet us at the gate would put us at 23.
We could add please.
Meet us at the gate. Cecilia's ready. Cecilia's there. Maybe.
Cecilia leads? I don't know.
Cecilia leads, yes.
Cecilia leads. We approach the gate. Cecilia leads.
Let's rest up and do this.
Okay, so you're all going to sleep the night, and in the morning, Marigold can go and tend to the handful of sick children or whatever. She can do all of her praying,
I
get that
can
all out
also
of the way.
help her.
Or we could end it with please advise instead, so that
Please
they message
advise?
us back.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Please advise instead of Cecilia leads.
Okay.
We get Cecilia to look better, right? In the clothes that she's wearing, something.
She's wearing decent clothing now. She was given half decent clothes from the elven community, and she's clean. Of course, she just happens to have a big fur, coat, hooded cloak.
Well,
to keep her warm,
we're
which-
gonna forgo that cloak and cast protection from elements, the endure element spell,
Okay.
and then we're going to tell her to be in front of us as we approach. We're obviously not going to go by the main streets, so it's not going to be immediately obvious, right?
Right.
Well, we should wait for a response first.
Look out for that gun tower there.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to go.
TVs.
There's gun towers all
Yeah.
over the place, but go this way and then up.
Yeah, it'd probably be our best bet. And then if we're traveling within crowds, we'll be fine.
So yeah, but as Spook said, we're going to send the message first.
All right. Okay. So, read me the message as is sent. Then.
So this is to Matthias Miller. The rescue party has returned. We've informed Slate that he would inform you. In urgency, we're telling you magically. We approach the gate. Please advise.
Okay. And then you're going to wait for a response. The response will be, Why are you dilly-dallying? Hurry up and get her here at once.
Meet us at the gate. Second sending spell. Meet us at the gate. In person. Or something.
Yes, something like that. Then we need that quickly. Then. So what are we saying?
Spectacular. 42 months. Much love for that. Take your pants
We
off
approach.
and hit your height.
Cecilia is eager to be received.
By familiar faces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slade is not a familiar face. He's a dick face. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So say that, Physic. Or Marigold.
Yeah. There, so we approach. Cecilia is eager to meet with familiar faces. Please, she requests you greet her
All right.
to thank her for sending the rescue.
Okay.
That
The
seems
reply
that's
that you
Maybe
get.
instead of Cecilia is eager, maybe Cecilia is adamant.
Oh,
Oh,
Adam,
he's
yes.
already sent it. Or are you?
I was talking to him.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me then.
Okay, so we approach. Cecilia is eager to meet with familiar faces, and is adamant that you come to meet her so she can thank you personally for sending rescue.
Okay. All right. Well, he replies back, and it just says, I'm trying to think how he really replied to this. Okay, yeah, his reply will just be, most difficult, but very well. We will meet you at the gates.
Alright, we're gonna leave
Hard to
and
get shot at the gate.
we're gonna cut this way
Mm-hmm.
and then cut up and then over. So that's our.
All
Can you
right, so
see
you're
that
going to
door?
try to stay inside the cover of buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep her hidden. I mean, she's not hidden, but we don't want.
Are you having her, like you say, in plain sight at the front of the group so everybody can see her? Is that the game plan?
Not initially. While we're walking through these quarters, no.
Okay.
But then when we get to the main street with the gate, yes.
All right.
she'll set her-
Were you
As soon as
casting
we
any
get out
spells
there.
on her ahead of time? Doing anything?
Yeah, I was going to put both Barkskin and Cat's Grace on her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do displacement as well, just in case.
Well, does that last very long? Yeah, it's good.
Just
Well, I mean, right when we get up there.
yeah,
We'll
like
get
once
up
you're
there.
kind of here as you're about to break out into the main
Nice.
streets.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, as soon as you pretty much get out into the main streets, the first couple of guards that you see them nudge each other and point. And immediately they come running over towards you. Oh, stop there! Stop there!
Celia, be firm and get us out.
These are the ones that Sarge was talking about.
Cecilia, use your authority. I'm gonna whisper that behind her.
Yeah, I'm gonna nudge her and be like, Cecilia, you're Cecilia Ironborn. Don't let them stop you from going home.
All right. Okay. So you want her to just kind of like pull her hood back and.
Yep.
Yes, be authoritative.
All right.
Put heroism on that or something. How do we inspire that?
We're here with you.
I'm going to give her a intimidation check then, which is going to be, she has nothing in it, so it's D20 with okay.
Oh,
She says, please don't stand in our way. I want to go home. I'm Cecilia Armborn. I want to go and see my father.
You heard her?
They kind of stop and look. He goes, wait here a minute, if you don't mind. And one of them
She's
takes
coming up.
off
She's been
running
gone
in
almost a year.
kind of in a northward direction. What do you want to do?
We can't wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna step up, kind of behind her to the side, look at the one who's standing there, and say,
This could get real bad if you stand in the way of a noblewoman. Make the right decision and make it quickly. Let us go. We have somewhere to be.
We were given very strict orders this morning. If we saw you, that we should stop you and hold you in place until Sergeant Slate could be summoned.
Why don't you follow behind us? Have your gun trained on me and Dal.
Oh, he doesn't have a gun. He's,
Well, Cecilia outranks Slate.
Yeah. So your orders came from a guard, yeah, and ours came from a nobleman.
Well, I understand that the nobility has no authority over the law.
What's your name?
Name and badge number, please.
What's your name? Give me your name.
Darian Primus, but I mean, you don't need my name.
We do, Darian Primus, because when we talk to that nobleman, I need to know what your name is, so you can get the proper recommendation that I give him for what to do with you.
Give me a intimidation check.
Okay.
$25. Okay. He says, well, of course, we are very, very pleased to see that young Cecilia here has been returned. Yeah, let's go that way, and hopefully Sergeant Slate can meet us en route. Yes, after you.
Yeah, guard Cecilia with your life. Let's go.
Let's guide him down the not main path on the southern side, which avoids Slate.
Okay, so you're gonna. All right.
No, this way.
Okay. So yeah, you guys head all the way down, past the dirigible site, and then you're gonna kind of cut up through.
Yep.
All right, we can cut to a different map then.
All the while, I'm just gonna say, Cecilia, find your voice. You survived below the veil. No one else survived below the veil.
And you know Slate's going to keep you from getting to your family. Don't let that happen.
All right.
Oh, the regulars.
Okay, so yeah, you emerge up through the side street, right by the main noble gate.
Say your name and say it proud.
Hold on a second. There we go. All right. Okay, as soon as you get there, obviously you see that there are a couple of the riflemen standing guard at the gate. You've got a guard with you.
Okay. So I'm watching them for sudden and gun-pointing movements.
I mean, they have their rifles cocked as soon as you start approaching.
Okay.
And you notice that several of the other guards have started to kind of move towards your direction. Alright, what do you guys want to do?
Basically just proclaim why we're here, I guess.
We need to deliver Cecilia to her family. As requested.
Alright, the two riflemen standing there just kind of look at you, very stern face. The other guard, the one that's kind of walked up, he goes, unfortunately, since the new regulations, nobody is permitted to go through the gate except nobility, I'm afraid. So we can't let you through.
Well, we can't let her go by herself.
Yes, but you'd have to have proper permission by somebody of noble birth to be able to do that. We can't just let you go through the gates.
So we're waiting to meet Matthias Smith.
Okay, sort of seeing that, she's like, yes, that's right. I'm Cecilia Arnborn. I want to return to my father, and these are my escorts. I give them permission to go through. And with that, you can see he gets really like, hold on a second. And he runs up to this guard, and you hear him say, any idea where Sergeant Slate is? Only, I can't really stop him, but he did say that we were to stop these people, but he didn't mention that Cecilia Armborn was going to be with them.
Cecilia insists.
If you stall them, I'll go and find Slate. All right then. Yeah, you do that. Right, so he comes running back. This one goes scurrying off down the main streets. Do you? We're gonna have to take your names and get some identification before we can let you through.
Is that really the case there, Cecilia?
I don't know.
No,
It definitely is the case. Due to
No.
the new regulations, I can't let anyone through that gate, even with the proper authorization, without knowing names. If anything happens, of course, we've got to be able to account for who we let through. So if you wouldn't mind just giving me your names.
You already
Cecilia.
have our names.
Cecilia,
I don't know what your names are.
demand that they open the gate. Your friends are on the other side. The other noble people, they need to see you.
That's fair enough, but that's not gonna circumnavigate the fact that I need to get your names.
All right, here, we'll
I'm
talk
gonna
over here.
nudge
We'll talk
Physic.
over here. I'm gonna go up to him. I'm gonna be like, here, we'll talk over here. Just come over here really quick for me. We'll fill that all out. I'm just gonna like look at them, like keep talking to the other guards. I'm just gonna like go and just like here, and I'm gonna rip out a piece of parchment from one of my note pages in the book. Well, not my book, but the other note pages, and I'm just gonna start writing out all the names. See, we went on a really long journey here through a lot tougher, more awful things than, I don't know, bureaucracy, and I'm ready to deal with this. If you're ready to deal with whatever might come out of it.
So I'm gonna, as that's happening, I'm gonna get an extra rush, and I'm gonna say in Cecilia's ear, demand that they open the gates for you right now, Cecilia, and do what Rush is saying as well.
They're trying to keep you from your family. You want to see your family, don't you? Don't let them push you around.
All right, so she walks up to the gate, once again attempting to use her authoritative voice. She says, I've given these people permission, and we've done what you've asked. Now, let us through. Right now, at this instant.
Okay. Better.
Okay, that was a little bit better. You see the two riflemen kind of look at each other, and then they glance over at the other guard, who now is clutching a piece of paper that has all your names on. And now he's kind of like really stumbling. He's, you see him keep looking down the main street in the hopes that he's going to see Sergeant Slate walking down. I suppose
This isn't your fight.
you can go in?
Thank you.
Let's go.
All right. Okay. So yeah, the two riflemen kind of lower their rifles so that they're not looking as menacing. The ones on the wall, you see them kind of drop their rifles down.
Please lead the way, Miss Cece.
All right. Okay. She starts to wander slowly across. The guards, pretty much the ones on the wall themselves, they don't bat an eyelid.
I'm gonna follow. Obviously, hands peacefully at my sides.
Okay. As you get to the bridge, you hear a voice yelling from way, way down the street.
Walk quickly, walk quickly.
Stop right now! Don't let
Keep
him
walking,
through!
Cecilia.
Keep walking.
Yeah, we're like pushing forward.
Yeah,
on
we're
the-
All right, so you guys want to just bolt across the...
Well, not like suspiciously bolts, but
Yeah, we're not.
Well, that's what
moving,
I'm
but we're
asking. I mean,
walking with
are
her.
you running across this thing, or are you just going to slowly continue to walk?
We're just
Yeah,
gonna
we're gonna
slowly
go
walk.
quick, really slow. Okay,
we're
I
gonna
figured we would
walk with
speed up.
purpose. Yeah,
Yeah,
walk with
yeah, we're
purpose.
quick walking.
Like not
Quick
running.
Okay.
You're
Just
almost
like
home,
let's
Cecilia.
go. Let's go.
Right, in that
Didn't
case,
do this.
then, the two guards at the back spin around and raise their rifles and say, "Stop right there!"
I
Is it-
cast fog cloud.
Okay.
Do you
Go
really?
Yeah.
Pop it up in chat.
Jesus Christ.
Alrighty, a fog spreads 20-foot radius, 20 feet high. Nice. Let's see.
Wow, Physic, ballsy.
this winter weather, you know, you never you never know.
Yeah, just random fog to descend magically upon us.
Let me see if I can find a appropriate fog. You know, who says your fog didn't have to be white, right?
Yeah, my fog is it's
Your fog is clearly of the pinkish
tint,
variety.
yeah. It's just a curse, you know, that we still haven't dealt with.
All right. Oh, no wonder I can't hear it because it's not playing. Okay. All right. So suddenly the fog begins to just appear all the way around you. You hear a couple of voices about, "What the hell?"
I'm gonna start pushing to run or to move.
Yeah.
Yes, we're
Now we get
moving.
through. We get through.
Okay, so you're gonna like bolt through to the other side.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I was looking at the list like, guns.
Guns. All right. Okay, you guys head straight through onto the other sides. As you do so, that'll put you in the noble section of the city of Azamir. Let me go ahead and move you over here. All right, so you're now on this side, and there's a huge wall of fog, like completely covering the gatehouse and everything around it on the ground level. You can see as you kind of cross, you hear the footsteps kind of up above as the 3 riflemen that were lined up on the top of the gatehouse have run over to your side, and you can hear them and cocking their rifles.
Run! Cece, where's your home?
Well, we should probably head towards Matthias Mayer's.
Which way?
Which is where, like here, right?
No, that was
No, it was the one up.
this house down here.
Yeah, that little back alley there. That's where we got to go.
All right, which way are you going to go?
We should probably go up and around to avoid clean lines of fire.
Okay, so you want to head this way?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, okay. As you start running, you hear one definitive loud blast of a rifle. Something you've heard numerous times before, hanging around with. The bullet kind of hits the ground to your left, and you hear some ting and ricochets off of the ground. And he says, "That was a warning shot! I mean it! Stay where you are!"
Is there anyone out on the streets, like noble people?
Absolutely. And of course, after that gunshot, they are scattering, screaming, making all kinds of ghastly noises like this is the worst thing that could have ever possibly happened. Oh my god! And oh no! Everybody, run! Flee! Save yourselves!
We're gonna flee, right? We're fleeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're fleeing.
All
As
right.
we're fleeing, I'm gonna say that was Slight. Slight fired that shot. Everyone say Slight fired that shot. He fired into the noble quarter.
How far away were we when they shot at us?
From here to there, let's see, 45 feet.
45 feet?
Yeah. I mean, it was obvious the shot was not aimed to hit anybody. Either that or
Yeah.
the guy was a very bad shot.
Yeah.
20. It'd be about 45 feet.
But you don't hear any other gunfire at that point.
Okay. I guess I won't do
Yeah.
anything.
If we're fleeing into a crowd of nobles who don't know what to do, probably.
I mean, as much as it was an intentional and very real threat, they're not going to follow through with actually shooting anybody at this point.
Yeah.
So much more likely, as you can hear them scurrying off the top and heading for the stairwells, you can expect a slew of guards to suddenly come pouring across the gate to chase you down. Whereabouts are you going to go?
We got to go to Mayor's Way, right?
Yeah. So you want to go to
So-
Mateus Mayer's house?
Yep.
Alrighty. Okay. Then let's do that. Okay. As you approach the door, you've seen it before. You've been here at the house, and it's actually Mateus Mayer is the older guy that hired you. The actual house belongs to Lord Newmont, Falco Newmont, and it was his wife that Danyan had turned the eye of. Okay, once you get to the door, what do you want to do?
Bang on it?
Okay, so you're like boom, 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 in like a politely or more in a authoritarian panic.
With purpose.
With purpose, indeed.
I mean, this
Okay.
is who we sent the message to, so
Yeah.
let them know that we're here. And yes, he did not meet us. A little
Alrighty.
bastard.
Let's see here. Go ahead and move this. Well, that's why I like to try to keep all my maps the same size, because it stops me from having to maneuver a whole bunch of Roll20 stuff, but you know what? Doesn't matter. Okay. The door is open, and you see Lord Falco Newmont standing there in all of his pompous glory with his little blue heart on his cheek and his gaudy big ruby earrings. Go ahead and move you in. Okay, he kind of opens the door with a yes, and then his face just drops like utter shock. Cecilia! I hardly believe that you're alive.
Sense motive.
Okay.
Yeah. If there was ever a need for a sense motive
Easiest
check,
call of all time.
can we all get a sense motive on that? That's
I'm definitely doing it, even though mine's crap. Yeah.
me too.
Yeah, I think we all.
Yeah, mine's not good.
We're all sensing that motive.
Yeah, I would.
I got
say
a
so.
20.
Oh, well, then never mind. Forget it.
Natural 20!
Yes, indeed. Rush with the
We'll never
20.
roll there.
That's good. That's good. I like this 20 count so far. It's looking real nice.
Okay. And that's the only okay. Yeah, Rush, clearly he is very, very surprised and in shock to see any of you. Whether that's surprise because you've been gone 8 months and they've written you off, or whether it's surprise that he was actually really hoping you wouldn't show back up, that's a difficult one to tell. But clearly he's caught aback and he is like off guard with this whole circumstance. With that, he immediately kind of comes up round behind you and slams the door closed and locks it.
Yes, thank you.
We didn't dare to hope that we'd ever see any of you again.
Yeah, we've been gone quite a while. We need to send word to Ironboard quickly, and someone needs to put Slate on a leash out there.
Sergeant Slate, why?
He's trying to. Well, I'm pretty sure he shot a gun at us just
We
now.
got here last night. He hasn't come and told you guys that we had Cecilia.
No.
Yeah.
Hence my surprise. We had a message. Some strange mystical message told me that I should come to the gates. So of course
Yes, that was us.
I've been preparing myself and getting dressed, and of course I had to put my face on, and I was getting ready to come that way.
Your response was to go immediately.
Well, but as you understand,
Music, your voice.
I cannot be seen in public. One of my stature I cannot be seen without appropriate decorum. It would not be...
I completely understand. Anyway, the point being, we got here last night. Slade was supposed to come tell you we were here, and he did not.
What does that tell you? That he can't be trusted.
Well, let's not jump to hasty conclusions. There's been a very lot going on.
No, what else is going on is he sent people to kill us last night. Right after we met with him and he said he's
sure you're mistaken.
No, we got that information straight from the horses. Trust us.
Well,
that's Dallas 9 charisma at play right there.
Clearly, there are some answers that need to be ascertained for sure. But you're here now, and that's the main thing. Let me send word to your father and have him come here and meet us. I'm sure he'll be most happy to see you, as we all are.
Now, sense motive.
We've heard that there's been quite a disturbance going on the past 8 months.
Oh, yes, you could say that. Some very awkward and difficult things have transpired over the last few months. We really shouldn't talk here in the foyer. It's not appropriate. Let's adjourn to my study. Perhaps we shall have some fine brandy or wine. Yes, I think our nerves all need to be... My nerves need to be calmed anyway. Follow me.
I'm going to be eyeing these guards as we enter.
As he gets close, you see him, click his fingers, and the two guards begin to kind of fall in behind you.
Frickin' nobles.
Alrighty. Okay. He opens the door, and you make your way into the familiar study of Lord Falco Newmont. Alright, the two guards walk in, and then they stand either side of the door and kind of close it. He makes his way over to the cabinet that has the eagle on and pulls out a drawer, pulling out a bottle of liquor and pours a stiff glass and drinks it down with his hands kind of shaking. Would any of you care to partake? It's quite fine.
Maybe a sample cup.
Physic, maybe we should wait until after it's all sorted.
You see him kind of attempt to start to pour one, and then he just puts the bottle down and all the glasses down. Help yourselves.
I'm going to kind of look at him as he starts to walk by me and just say, "You feeling all right?"
No, actually, I'm feeling a little off. If you don't mind, I need to sit down. And he sits kind of sideways, catty-cornered on the chair, pulls out a handkerchief and starts to...
I thought you would be happier to see her.
No, I'm ecstatically happy to see her, as will her father. It just potentially may have caused a few complications, that's all.
Complications?
Yes, on the grounds
you wanted us to get her.
No, of course, we did. And you shall be paid most handsomely, as agreed, for returning her safe and sound. We just didn't expect it to take so long, and after almost a year, we assumed the worst, and had sent word to Spheros that, unfortunately, she had died of a sickness.
Oh, so that's the... okay.
In hindsight, it probably wasn't the smartest move. But you do understand, I mean... 8 months beneath the veil? What are the odds that there's any chance of survival?
How come you didn't just tell them the dirigible crashed?
Well, because from what we understood, the dirigible crashed in a very dubious way. And
how's that?
Well, we heard that apparently there was an explosion, and we possibly expected that there might be foul play afoot.
Well, we investigated that dirigible and found no signs of foul play.
None at all. Nobody found any signs of foul play.
No.
Should we have?
Well, not necessarily. I'm just curious to know if anybody did.
Yeah, well, if we didn't, we didn't. And we didn't. We
Oh, okay. Well, yes,
Scoured it.
That's good. Perhaps it was all just a terrible accident then. And we'd assumed, you know how it is when somebody of nobility meets with such an accident, there's always suspicions that somebody was up to no good.
Well, there was that one thing.
That one thing?
I mean, it did seem kind of suspicious.
Which was? If you have any information, you should definitely give it to us so that we can
What are you talking about?
see if anybody
Well, I didn't
was
really
up to
think
no
about
good.
it until he mentioned that they might thought that there was foul play. I didn't think about it.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we searched that.
Oh my god, you people out of character, you people are dense. Can I roll a bluff check to see if I fool the rest of my party?
Doesn't work on players, I'm afraid. No, we had, of course, wondered if something had happened, whether somebody was trying to damage the relations between Azamir and Spheros, one of the other cities, perhaps. Of course, with such a high-ranking young noblewoman being married off to the High Lord of Spheros, it would have put Azamir and Spheros in a very favourable relationship. Some of the other cities might have been considerably jealous, which is why we suspected there was a possibility that somebody else may have done something skullduggerous.
Well, I don't know, because what we found, it didn't really point to another city.
No, well, whatever you found, we have some very smart investigatory minds here in the royal court, and we can have any evidence examined carefully. After all, it's not your concern as to worry about who was responsible, only to deliver necessary information for us. Which, of course, as noble and honourable citizens of Azamir, you absolutely will.
Absolutely, because it
You're
also
right.
means we get
I mean,
paid.
because we live here in Azamir, so of course we want it to prosper and
Of
be in the
course.
best situation possible.
Yes, well, I did indeed offer you a vast sum of money, which is, I'll make arrangements to have it fetched immediately.
Yeah, it's kind of not about the money anymore, though.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. If you would rather forego your reward and instead we'll let all the nobles know your name and let them know that you were responsible for returning our beloved Cecilia to us.
Under my breath, I'm gonna say, I honestly don't think I want the nobles to know my name and that I helped in this.
Oh, well, we can keep it quiet if you prefer. Any of you that don't want your reward, that's fine. It's not compulsory that you receive it, of course. I understand it's such a large quantity of money, you wouldn't know what to do with it if you had it, I suppose.
Just look over at Jash.
Well, how about we just get on with getting with the payment, yeah? That's what we're here for. Here's the package, all in one piece, as you can see.
Yes, no,
So,
I will send for the reward to be brought from the bank to here immediately. Obviously, I don't have it laying around. Not vast sums of money like that. Wasn't exactly prepared to deal with this today. But don't worry. We have ample reward for all of you.
Well, how about we get one messenger out to Lord Armborn and one messenger out to the bank then?
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, we'll wait here.
Well, let's go.
Have one of my pages fetch Lord Arnborn. Tell him to come at once, but to come alone. And also, if you would send my squire to the bank and have the banker come and visit with me as soon as he is able. Like the man, you see him kind of walk out the door. The other one just steps in front of it. Yes, well, that's that taken care of. We'll have Lord Arnborn here, fairly soon. As well as your rewards. Feel free to stay here for a while if you wish. Finish the liquor, there's plenty more. Are you perhaps peckish, famished at all? I can have food brought in.
We could eat.
Yes, we had some, No, quite. For such distinguished guests, give me a moment. I will go to the kitchen and give them some instructions. Oh yes, we're going to take care of you.
Everybody, be on guard. This can turn sour quick.
Yep.
Should maybe one of us follow him?
I
don't trust him at all.
Well, it'd be kind of obvious if we do follow.
Cecilia.
Right?
Well, I can't.
Yes.
If something were to happen to your father, who would take his place?
Well, it would really depend. Of course, they would have to go before the council and vote. It would be either Lord Newmont here, Lord Mayor, Lord Griffin, Brontworth, or Asquith.
Mm-hmm.
Or being that they are the lords on the council, one of those, of course, would be appointed.
Huh.
Unfortunately, seeing as my father doesn't have any sons, I cannot rise to such a position, so it would definitely be one of those.
So,
Guys, I feel worse about this by the minute.
there's a high probability that one of these other noble people are responsible for Slate's actions, and if your dad gets here, they might do an action to get rid of us all. So,
would it be too far-fetched to assume that maybe one of them's responsible for the dirigible crash too?
there was no foul play aboard the dirigible.
And when did you become a forensics expert?
Jash and I searched it, and all of you for that matter. We were all over that dirigible. We looked around. I saw no evidence
been
of
on
it.
a dirigible? Seen how it works?
Yes. I have. Several times, actually.
Have you?
Yes. I'm not native to Azumire. You do know that,
And
right?
you found... You're not!
No, I come from Cardril. I've said this before.
I'm just kind of staring at Dallas.
I've never hidden this from you. I don't know why it's surprising.
That was on the table from the beginning, wasn't it?
I've ridden on a
From the second
dirigible.
beginning?
And
I
yet
have
you
some
found no
expert-
foul play.
I saw no evidence of any foul play. I saw there was evidence, obviously, of an explosion, but that could have been a simple mistake from the people who ran the dirigible.
Why? How come you didn't know by looking at it?
Get off me, you foul ruffian!
I was just gonna kind of I didn't like him walking up to her, so I kind of stepped next to her.
So, where's that food?
Oh, I've given instructions to the kitchen to bring it out. They won't be long. It's already cooked.
What are you told to make?
Oh, we had a bit of a banquet earlier. There's some roast pork. I know you've probably never tasted it before, but it's quite delicious.
So we're getting leftovers.
No, of course not leftovers. Besides, it's pork. Even if it was leftover, I would think that you would be rather excited about the fact.
You'll have to excuse him. He's been eating very well, living underneath the veil. There's a lot of food.
I mean, living well beneath the veil.
That's the thing is, once you get past the veil...
Living is not accurate.
Surely it's a vile and dangerous, desolate place full of nasty creatures that would try to kill you as soon as look at you.
That's true, except for the desolate. I mean, there is delicious food down there.
Oh, really?
Quite a lot of it.
Well, that the dangerous creatures eat, obviously.
Yeah, they don't eat each other.
Well, as well as each other, which is also delicious if you think about it.
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I mean, I know the fish that come from the below mountainous lakes and rivers are splendid. Of course, nobody ever goes down to the Vale and comes back up with anything, so... yes, if the pork is not to your liking, I can have them bring bread and cheese.
No,
or...
bring us the pork.
All right,
so
so yeah,
good.
about 15 minutes later, in comes one of his servants and puts a big platter of like roast pork with the head still attached and an apple in the mouth, grapes on the side, all kinds of incredibly expensive foods. Sort of thing that you just don't eat up here unless you are of this level of wealth.
So,
Here you are! Tuck in!
So, Marigold, why don't you purify that food, you know? Give it a little blessing.
Okay, you wanted to cast Purify Food and Drink?
Yes.
Okay, alright, so she does so. Making sure that if there is any foul nastinesses, spell does not prevent subsequent nature, decay, or spoilage. But of course, if it's contaminated in any way, it will take care of that. So she gives it a blessing.
So I'm gonna get up with after that and start pecking at it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it is delicious. It's beautifully seasoned, perfectly cooked. Way, way, way beyond what normally you'd ever eat up here. So, yes, Lord Arnborn should be along soon. Hopefully the banker as well, so we get you paid. Yes, so anything exciting to tell me about what happened? How you found Cecilia?
Meaning no offense. The nature of the lands beneath the Vale are a vile and despicable place for someone of your appetite.
Yes,
Your
yes, no,
palate
I
might
do
not be able
understand.
to handle some of
As
what we'd
we're
have
all
to
here
tell.
eating, it's probably not the appropriate thing for the dinner table.
Hmm.
Or perhaps any table.
Well, it's great around a campfire.
But, it would be nice to hear stories of it at some point. Perhaps, when all things are settled, we shall invite you to a ball, and you can regale and entertain all of us with tales of your daring rescue.
Josh would love that.
Yeah, well, as long as it's a paid appearance, yeah. I do charge a bit of a fee.
Oh, of course, yes, of course, we'd happily pay you to
Great.
come. We pay regularly for entertainment, and this would be a unique experience for all of us.
I guess we're just gonna wait, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, clearly there's an awkwardness in the room. You can kind of sense his apprehension, and you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. But about 40...
I am switching between watching intently on Noble Guy and Dallas.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be
Standing there.
standing over, like, kind of behind where the pig was put, so that I at least have a huge chunk of wood between me and whatever might come through that door.
Okay. Oh, let me put you back where you belong.
One does not simply relax.
Alrighty. Well, after a short, as I said, about 45 minutes, in through the door walks another gentleman. As he walks in, he has got 2 riflemen that escort him into the door, so there's now 4 of them. Of which he kind of just points to the left-hand and right-hand corners of the room, where they go and politely position themselves. At that point, he then stops. You see him notice the stairwell. And he's like, clicks and points his fingers, so this one wanders over here and positions himself at the top of the stairs instead. But he kind of walks in. You guys have all seen this fellow before. It is indeed Lord Arnborn with his massive overgrown moustache, his blonde hair, his purple regaled tattooed marks upon his face, his signature pink frilled shirt that sticks out underneath his tunic and cloak. As soon as he walks in and after instructing his guards, Cecilia kind of sees him. She's like, "Papa!" And she runs over and throws her arms around him, to which he very politely puts his hands upon her shoulders and then lifts one of them to the back of her head and then, there, child. It's wonderful to have you back.
Just watching this, kind of not
Lord
happy.
Arnborn,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you were able to come. You can now see why I instructed them to ask you to come alone and not to inform anybody why you were coming or where you were going, but to make sure you brought guards with you. He says, yes, I can see this clearly. So,
What he said.
you're the fellows that has returned my daughter to me safe and sound, it would seem.
Why do you seem confused? Is everything all right, Lord?
Yes. Everything is fine. You've done exactly what you were asked to do, and you will be paid handsomely. I understand that we had originally spoken of a sum of, the original offer, I believe, was 3,000 gold crowns each.
God, I am itching to cast detect magic, but I don't want to get shot.
Yes, that was the price that we arranged.
Yes, we will have it paid to you in full, very quickly.
Great.
Yes. Now, there is one other matter that we need to discuss, however. A matter of, slightly more important, we need certain assurances, you see.
Hush money.
Oh,
Assurances that we
I wouldn't
won't-
call it anything so vulgar as hush money. No. I need assurances, of course, that, you will not let anybody know that you successfully returned with, Cecilia Arnborn?
Deal.
First,
Wait.
we need to deal with the issue of slight.
Slight?
Slate.
Slate.
Oh.
Slate. Slate.
Sergeant Slate, what about him?
You need to get rid of him.
Why?
Because he was the first to know of your daughter's rescue yesterday, and he failed to report it even though he said he was going to.
With that, he spins around and, you see him glare, longing, kind of like a long, intense stare at Lord Mateus. Is this true? So it would appear. They mentioned that they'd notified Sergeant Slate yesterday, and he didn't come. I see. Yes, I very much appreciate you giving us this information. We'll deal with Sergeant Slate. Not a problem at all. Are there any other guards that you recall that may have noticed?
Noticed?
Well, I did kind of walk straight up the main street, Father, with them. Oh, God, no. We'll be ruined.
We should mention that Slate also wanted hired ruffians to throw her corpse over the wall.
Oh, really? Yes, I know loyalty can be a very strange thing sometimes. Well, I don't suppose it really matters at this point if you tell anybody or not. It seems like by now the whole damn city will be aware. I thought you had instructed these people to keep it quiet and not to let them know about the rescue. I did, your lord. That was the agreement, that they were to keep it quiet.
You can blame Slate for that.
If I may, we had to, after appearing, we were to retire at a tavern in town and wait for Sergeant Slate to return with some men after informing you. On the way to it, we were attacked by some ruffians. We got word out that it was, in fact, Slate who had sent them. As such, we found a place to hide in town and came to the gate today to try and get through. We were confronted with one set of guards. One went to go inform Slate. The other stayed with us to make sure we wouldn't leave. We managed to intimidate him with the power of the lordship to rather take us to the gate. So only those two, and then afterwards the ones at the gate know immediately from our dealings about Cecilia's return. Otherwise, anyone under Slate's thumb might also be informed.
Well, and a lot of the nobles saw us come through the gates, Father. It was quite a spectacle. We almost were shot at. So,
we were shot at.
Physic, he created smoke to shield us so that we would successfully make our way to safety. But we were running through the streets, and a lot of people did, of course, see us, and with the commotion. Yes, this is what I was frightened of. Dear.
Lord Arnvar, you must understand, we tried, when we first arrived at the city, to come in via the noble guard tower, and were we were turned away. We did this because we had every intention to just be discreet.
Why would they turn you away if they knew you were bringing my daughter?
They said no one was allowed to enter into the noble quarter via the guard towers. This was all not intentional. We wanted to keep a low profile, but after hearing that the guards under Slate's...
Yes, but you do understand word's going to get out, isn't it? She's not dead.
We were unaware of this.
No, I understand. I understand you couldn't possibly be aware of the complexities of Azamirian politics. Why? How could you? You were hired for your means to do this rescue. I suppose it was just too much to expect you to... Fine. Well, it doesn't seem to be any point in paying you hush money, as you put it, seeing as everybody's aware. But, of course, we'll have you paid and taken care of appropriately. We'll have to see what we need to sort out here, I suppose.
Might I have a suggestion? We've learned that Spheros is aware that that you said that she was dead, right? And now that she's alive.
Yes, the noble court decided to say that she had died a few months ago.
Couldn't you just say that it was Slate who said that she had died and had done a big setup and tricked you?
Of course not. The royal court was the ones that told Spheros. Of course, we wouldn't have trusted the word of some random guard. No, it was our own physicians. That
we could have manufactured a trick or something, you know?
Yes, but that's exactly the point, isn't it? Spheros will assume that this whole thing was a manufactured trick. That for some reason we had decided to go back on the whole agreement, perhaps instead promising her to another lord. Yes, no, this is going to be quite the political nightmare to deal with. Yes, we'll have to...
Why wasn't it just told that she was missing because of a dirigible accident?
Well, because, you see, my dear, the dirigible accident would have been assumed to be negligence. We actually had hoped that if they'd have known that she was below the veil, she would be considered spoilt goods and would no longer be appropriate to marry Lord Edgar Holt. So it was decided that that was not the thing to say. Instead, we said that she had been struck ill, that that she would head over to Spheros as soon as she was well. This, of course, did just fine for a couple of months, and then he began to get a little bit antsy. Finally, it was decided, instead of stringing the thing along for too long, when it was obvious you weren't going to return, that to save face, that we would just politely say that unfortunately she had succumbed to her illness and died at a tragic young age. Everything was fine until,
Today.
she is returned. Which, as a father, I am of course incredibly grateful and extremely relieved. As the Lord
Yeah,
of
you sound like it.
excuse me?
You seem like it. We're glad we were able to help.
Yes, obviously there are certain problems that have to be taken care of. Do any of you perhaps know of any young ladies that look very similar to my daughter and perhaps have similar features and hair?
Why?
Oh, just curious. We could make them very rich.
Wow, I'm starting to think we're better off with the goats.
The orphanage lady, was she like?
No, she was much too old.
Okay.
Who's that well-endowed woman at the bar?
No.
Is it Gloria?
It is Gloria.
It's
yeah.
Gloria, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he kind of moves to the center of the room. As I said, there's no point in paying any of you hush money, but I would more than happily provide any of you 100 additional gold crowns if you could think of any young girl that would be about the same size and age with similar hair color to my daughter.
Goldilocks.
And if you was to bring her quietly without anybody knowing this time to us, we would give her 100 gold crowns as well. No.
All right. If I can think of anyone, I don't know.
Yes, if you think of anybody. I suppose the rest is for us to sort out. This is an entire mess that's really not your burden. You were charged with returning her, and you've done so, which I am very grateful for. As I said, as a father, for you to return my daughter to us. So that was splendid, and thank you so much for that. We will have the money here very soon, and we will make you all very, very rich and very, very wealthy. Of course, if any of you chose to leave Azamir and travel to one of the other cities, you would be able to afford to. With the amount of money we're paying you, you could buy your own home, set yourselves up far away in a different city other than Azamir.
I think I'd rather walk.
No?
Thank you, my lord. We will consider this
Yes.
while we wait for our money.
I would. There are wonderful, wonderful cities. I have heard far to the east that Aristrand has got the most scenic views of any of the cities. Or you could travel northwards to Ventis. Another very pleasant... I wouldn't recommend Sveros, of course, not under the circumstances. If you come from Azamir, you might be looked upon less than favourably at the moment.
I'm gonna quietly say to Marigold, so your idea about the coup is sounding better every second we're in this room.
You hear a knocking on the door. Maya goes over to the door. He says, excellent! He heads out the door, closes it behind him. So, is there anything else that you would like to ask of me? After all, I am the Lord, the High Lord of Azamir. I suppose that money for you people is ample reward, but if there's anything else that you would like to ask, I suppose, if I'm in a position to grant any favors, I would happily do so, within reason, of course.
A variance in an ordinance.
Excuse me?
I'd like to see a variance in an ordinance, perhaps.
A variance and an ordinance of what?
No. Well, there's only one guard in all of Asmir here. It just doesn't make sense with the quantity of people. It seems to many like people are being starved with an intention to kill them.
Of course they're not being starved with the intention of killing them. There's plenty of things for them to eat. It's just unfortunate that we don't have the room for agriculture here.
Which is why I'd like to seek a variance. There are certain places which have more space than they need, necessarily concerning what is civically viable versus what actually feeds
yes, see, this is a discussion you should have with the heads of the guilds, the trades guilds and such. They deal with all of this sort of thing. This is beyond my sort of politics.
Which is not to say you wouldn't be able to maybe give me some of your blessing on seeking an expansion, perhaps, to the gardens, and maybe some changes in the rules of how they're run.
I suppose we could. Yes. You know, you have given me an idea. And you say it's the poor people that want these better food items, yes?
Some of your less fortunate citizens.
Right. No. You have given me a splendid idea.
What is that?
Oh no, we'll I'll discuss it with my colleagues, but I believe we might be able to see our way to expanding, as you say, the agricultural aspects of this fine city.
Can I get a sense motive on that?
Sure.
It sounds like he means to kill a lot of people, and I'm not okay with that.
Wow, we just really don't trust the nobility.
They've done very little to be trustworthy.
13. Yeah, there's definitely... You can you don't really know where he's going, but he clearly doesn't want to explain any further.
Like, what are the odds that taking out Hardborn is the better? So... Lord, have you had any disputes or differences with maybe some of your council?
Well, of course, there's always disagreements, but
this aspect.
Nothing of a particularly sinister or heinous nature. If you're insinuating, if you've heard rumors that someone may be looking to have me removed, there were fears that Lord Edgar Holt may have possibly put out some kind of assassination contract on my life, but none of this has been actually founded or substantiated. It's just we're taking precautions because under the circumstances it could happen.
Would there be anyone that would benefit from overthrowing you, as it were?
Well, yes, of course. Other nobles could always further their positions and their fortunes and raise the station of their family house. Elevate their name, as it were, but, nothing like that would immediately come to mind. I don't suspect anybody. And as he's saying that, you can see him turn around and he's like staring at Lord Mayor as he's kind of saying it and looking between the two of you. I'm sure that nobody would be stupid enough to try some kind of assassination coup. I'm in the prime of my life. If anything strange should happen to me, should I suddenly die, there would be a lot of suspicion cast, for sure. Oh, quite. Anyway, and you see him walk in with basically carrying what looks like a very large box. He says, I've got something for you. The banker's bean.
Is he saying it to us? Or?
Yeah, to you people. And he goes over and puts it down on the desk.
I walk right over to it.
Okay, he pops it open, and it is basically rows and rows and rows of platinum pieces.
Yeah. All right, which portion's mine here?
He says, well, 300 of these belong to each of you.
Great.
300 platinum pieces to equal the sum of 3,000
Yeah,
gold.
yeah. I got it.
And I'm just gonna start picking them up and taking my bag off and just start putting them in there.
You can take the box if you wish. Divide it up yourselves later.
No, it's all right. I'll just take my share and be off.
All right, so you
Take it,
take
put it
your
in.
What was that? You said
grand?
30 platinum pieces?
300 platinum.
Okay.
That's 10 platinum equals 10 gold to 1 platinum, so that's basically 3,000, yeah.
So I'm going to go over there and do the same.
All right, okay. So
then
you get your 3,000.
I'm actually going to go stand next to Josh.
Somebody want to put that on Marigold's sheet? I'm sure she's going to do something else with it, but
You should give it to the
Yeah.
poor. Probably open a poorhouse.
I could do that.
All right, okay.
I'll take mine as well.
All right, so
I'll
everybody's
take
got
more
300 platinum pieces for successfully returning Cecilia to her father. Right, everybody gotten paid?
No, I'm assuming Marigold would have.
Yeah, I put it on her sheet.
Rush, are you
Yeah.
collecting your
yeah,
cash?
I got
Okay.
it.
Right, once the last of it is taken, he closes down the box and says, "Then I consider our business concluded."
Yeah, if we were to leave right now and return to the main sector of the city, would we be safe? Because Slate is still out there, right?
We've already sent word to round up Sergeant Slate.
Alright, so I guess I'm going to go over to Cece and just tell her if she ever needs anything, it's not difficult to find me.
And she says, thank you all so much for coming and finding me. I didn't dare dream or hope that I might ever see Azamir or my family again.
I'm gonna nod at everybody, and then look at Josh and say, "We should get out of here, right?"
Yep, absolutely. I believe our business transaction has been completed. Have a wonderful day to one and all.
And I'll do some really over-the-top gesture.
All right, as you go to leave, the gestures to the guards to allow you out is, and remember, should any of you know any young ladies that look and are about the same height, size, and weight as my daughter, I will pay you handsomely, and the young lady as well. Just bring her quietly to me and make sure that nobody's aware that you brought her here.
A human trafficking ring.
Hmm.
Well,
Jeez.
she's getting paid, so not really. Right.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, bye.
All right, so you're all going to start to exit the door.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm GTFOing. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. As you all go out and the door is closed, you hear the last thing that you hear is you hear Cecilia say, "Is it really necessary to kill somebody and make them think it was me, Father? Oh yes, my dear. We must make sure that they believe that you're dead. Oh well, I suppose so." And with that, we will end on a final note at the end of Beneath the Veil. Oh dear. Alrighty. So let's open it up to any questions. Well met. I'm Gorbad, the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, as well as the author of thedmsblog.com, where you can find lots of fun and interesting articles for both Dungeon Masters and players alike. If you'd like to keep up with the show, follow us on Twitter at How We Roll. Check out our website, www.howweroll.com, And for our past campaigns and for some fun bonus content, follow us on YouTube at, you've guessed it, How Reroll. We hope to see you all again real soon. Cheers, guys.
Oh, hey, it's me, Satchmo. I play Physic here on How Reroll. Like, I got 2 more of these to take care of, so I'm gonna cut it short. But if you want to follow me anywhere, say Twitch or Twitter, it's just Satchmo, and Satchmo just about everywhere. I'm glad you joined us tonight. I hope you come back again sometime. It stinks.
Hey everybody, Shagget here. I play a character on How Reroll. I'm not going to tell you who I play because if they die, I'm going to have to redo it. I've already done it once, never again. Follow me on Twitter at aneb_convos, and I'll see you guys on How Reroll.
And that's how air works. What a good story. And I also hope you enjoyed today's story on How Reroll. I'm Jane and I played. If you want to follow me on social media, I do have a Twitter and it is Jane on Twitch with a 0, not an O. That's all I have to say, so peace suckers, bye!
Roll the clip. Hello everyone, I play Jash Windstriker, a level 5 human fighter. And I really like playing him because he does really cool stuff all the time. And there you have it. You guys can follow me on Twitter at MattySweetTweet. And thank you so much for watching every Monday and Thursday. You guys are the best. I'm having a fantastic time on How Reroll so far, even though my character first ever got killed off. No big deal. No problem. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, I am the Dragon Spooker, and for you and How We Roll this time, I'm playing Rush Brinkery, the Nomian engineering sorcerer. If you don't get enough with me on the show, then you can follow me on Twitter at Dragon Spooker. You can also check out my channel, which I should be streaming more in here in the future with my new rig this year, at twitch.tv/thedragonspooker. I'll see you next episode.